is the city at the center of the world, a metropolis that is the crown jewel of the inner sea. It is the year of the Radiant Festival, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Plenty of ne'er-do-wells find themselves using the chaos of the festival for their own gain. To guard Absalom from danger, 5 stand forward to protect the innocent. Asbet Lindelin, an oracle with the smell of battle following her, ever ready to battle the forces that upset the city. Lyra Taldeth, an Ethesian half-elf, whose staunch skills with a blade are matched only by her sonorous arcane invocations. Rivalor Silvereye, ex-Greycloak detective with an eye for both the details and a pretty face. Xalix Willowheart, a militant ranger whose origin is even more dark and mysterious than her past. And last, but not least, the newbie to the team, Arena Mistwalker. They are the few who will give everything for everyone. They are the agents of Edgewatch.
Howdy doodly! For more Dungeons and Dragons, I guess we're back. More than guess, I know we're back. That's exciting. Gordon Bennett, I guess I've got a group of players here who are all going to be waiting to step on into things and encounter the Dreaming Palace. So I'll just see what they're up to at the moment. Hello group, we are officially live. How are we all?
We are alive. Yes, more or less alive.
Hooray!
Mostly alive.
I would even claim well.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
Too much. Too much.
Where did we get up to last time, friends? Or shall I nominate one of you for sliding on through a recap so Lomo Nomo is up to date with the current sit rep and plans? I will... Oh yeah, Adesandra, are you dubbing yourself in for the job?
I suppose I may as well. You missed largely ineptitude and not a whole lot of things. So before the session, Kiki went and prepared basically the rest of the chapter, not sure how far we'd get, and we got significantly less far than she'd anticipated. The entire session was the House of the Plains, basically, where we went and got stoned, got drunk, lost all our hair, our heads nearly bitten off by a owlbear, was it? And
I believe it was
a manticore.
Manticore.
What?
And otherwise, through roundabout ways, nearly didn't get the name the Dreaming Palace for a place where one person went missing. And that's honestly just about it.
Right.
It was a hippogriff.
Was it a hippogriff?
Oh, hippogriff.
Oh, that's
But it was just Griffin.
Or griffin. They're all the same.
Scary
Something with a
big
beak.
Nobody knows
animal
but
with
me. I
beaky
got bit
face.
by it. Damn it!
It was something with 4 legs, a beak, and big wings.
It had claws. It was a griffin.
Right then, so you guys have had a night to relax. I will time skip you to the next morning, so it's 7 of the AMs. Transition to daylight. Is that the correct button? La da da da. You are
Da 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 da.
of your bunks.
Dun, dun.
You've had a night to rest. Pull all of you to where you should be. Which, if I was a good DM, I'd done that prior to this. Wow. But I'm not. I'm mediocre at best.
Okay, we love
The
you
next
anyway.
blood trail.
You're good. You're good.
And for the sake of things, I will assume each of you saw the medic, got yourselves patched up, good to go, ready for more adventure, or just questioning some fine folks. Budding.
I mean, I showed up. But dang.
I admit I feel better than last night. Not that that's saying a lot.
How's your hair?
Still missing.
Oh,
Thank
God.
you.
Although Asbet would have a lovely wig now.
That's
I would have a wig, but it's a pale imitation.
Alright, yes, let me get rid of
Definitely.
that air method, which may or may not be a spoiler.
Oh,
Boy.
So as morning arrives, the sound of birds echo outside, the gardener potters about, the well is used, all sounds that you've grown accustomed to with your time at Edgewatch. You are not intruded upon by the sergeant, popping in to yell at you or bark at people to get up and get ready for the day. Instead, it's significantly more tame and quiet and relaxed than you are used to.
Well,
Rivalor is getting changed. He's kind of silent and sullen after yesterday.
as if his harem watches on.
As his harem watches on.
Are you all just
How can
actually
you-
watching him get changed?
No, we aren't.
How,
We aren't.
how can you be sad when you have a harem?
Lyra's
Poor
bed is
women just
covered
staring him
with
down.
pages of like
wow,
a
don't
spell
get
book.
in his bed. What's going on over there?
Oh my god.
I don't even
So-
think about that.
Sounds like the thing of dreams or nightmares. One or the other. There's no in between.
No, it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Lyra's bed is covered in an open spellbook and pages everywhere, and scribblings, because she's been working on new spells during the night.
Oh yes, and we're level 3, aren't we? Haha!
Yes, we are.
Great. I assume you guys are discussing your new abilities you have, so there's some group cohesiveness, or are you just gonna surprise everyone?
Surprise, motherflower.
Wow, can't have that kind of language on my
Um,
channel.
I mean, Rivalor just got, a little bit of a bigger brain.
Oh wow.
So now he can keenly recall things and he can calm people down.
Well, we do appreciate
But it's not really
ability to
something
calm
that-
people.
That's good, yes.
It's all around harder to kill me now, so.
I'm just better at the things I was already good at.
Asbet's a fair bit harder to kill as well, and now with second level spell slots, I can cast 2 second level heals twice a day, as well as 3 at first level, so I can heal a fair bit more than before. Spiritual Weapon and Blood Vendetta are useful if we get into a fight, but otherwise, I think that's probably going to be used for the heals. We'll see. And
How
then
many
beyond
spell
that,
slots do you have as an oracle?
3 first level and 2 second level.
I'm jealous.
I'm a full caster.
I know.
I'm technically not a marshal, but apparently my strength and these things let me cheat at it.
Yeah. To be fair, you do have the negative of needing to strike each turn.
Yes, if once I do use those
My
focus
audio
points.
cut out. One minute.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Very unfair.
I mean, that being said, Alessandra, don't you have the minor curse at all times?
I can hear you.
You're in
again
combat?
now.
Only it
Hello.
goes away after a rest, so only once I have first used a focus spell of that day. Before that, I don't have it. After that, yes. So once I cast the first focus spell of a day, then I have the minor curse. I do also have. I went to expert in intimidation, which won't help a whole lot in getting information, but it should help out in combat and potentially other situations if we need to coerce anyone. I'll see about potentially retraining down depending on how things go, but that's the one I chose for. And I now have 3 focus spells. Though actually, I got last level, it's just it didn't come into use since we leveled up. So I can Weapon Surge, I can Call to Arms, which increases our initiative at the beginning when combat starts. It's not all that useful. Though it gives like 2 temporary hit points as well, so we'll see if I ever use that.
Wow, 2 hit points.
I know. It's amazing, isn't it? But I also grabbed Athletic Rush, which lets me imbue myself for, I believe, a full for 1 round with greater movement speed and higher athletics for various purposes, like running about the place, taking down doors, things like that. Which we'll see if that comes in useful. I picked that up mostly because there's a higher level focus spell I want, but...
Does that mean we'll have
bad.
a Yakety Sax chase sequence with Asbet just kicking down the doors every time?
Considering that lets me run at 35-foot movement speed with 3 actions in 1 turn while wearing heavy armor, potentially.
That's good.
No, it's a shame I can't just cast Fleetfoot on you.
Oh, that'd be fun.
As the minutes tick by, your group will become more and more acutely aware that no one's really come to wake you up. Almost as if they just are letting you be for the morning.
Well, we still have the same assignment.
Yes, we do. We know what we're supposed to be doing. So, if you're all ready, let's head to the front desk, see if we can find our way to the Dreaming Palace.
And if there's nothing there,
Sorry,
suspect-
Rivalor's not actually panting. That's just me.
If we don't find anything there, we can try our best to scour the streets, find out where these other people went missing, and just about whatever else we might be able to find out about them. It occurs to me we don't really know a whole lot outside of their names.
We met them. We met the gentleman who owns the place. He was at the Tipsy Tengu the night that brawl broke out. For me and you and Rivalor.
Yes, those certainly. I meant we do have a list of missing people after all. It's those that I meant in this.
And we only have, I think, 1 of them confirmed to have been involved in the Dreaming Palace.
It was my theory anyway that the only thing all these people have in common is that they're outsiders and would have to have somewhere to stay at night. So probably all of them went to a hotel, maybe all the same to that hotel.
Well, yeah, that's the theory. I think all of us have, but we need to confirm that.
It's the only lead we have right now.
Just so that you all know, we need to be careful because when me and Rivalor were talking to the dwarf in Elysium, he let us know that he procured an ochre jelly for the proprietor of that hotel. And he said it was used for garbage disposal. And now I'm starting to think that maybe that's not exactly an endearing term or a bland term. Maybe he was referring to garbage of the non-Absalonian sort.
That seems possible. This scene, oozes, I think, are often arcane or that sort. Lyra, would you happen to know anything closer about these sorts of jellies?
I don't know. Would I, GM?
Give me a recall knowledge check. I will have to look up some more information.
Not a monster hunter anymore?
If you have occultism, that is good. Or if you have any specific lore.
I have elven, sailing, and occultism.
Okay,
Occultism.
give me a occultism one.
Just a +3. Ah, it's not that bad.
Not at all.
You know some basics about okra jellies. You know, they're acidic in some terms. They're viscous. You don't know too much actually in depth about them beyond what is common knowledge, unfortunately.
Alright.
Are they at least not transparent?
They
Cube
are,
that we fought, was it the same thing?
you would be aware an okra jelly is orange. The best colour in the world!
Oh boy.
You mean it's actually ochre?
Wow.
Alright, okay, how do I kick you from a campaign? Where's the button for that?
You can right-click my name in the thing and either kick or ban me actually from Foundry.
And
Oh my
he
goodness.
he offers the actual knowledge. What a lad.
That's because Adisander is the best.
Look, I'm perfectly
wow,
willing
I
to
can,
screw
like-
myself over with the rules.
Ooh, I can change your colour, your avatar, and all sorts. Release character. The power
Don't do
I now
that.
have at my
Release the
hands.
Kraken!
Ooh, Kraken, is that in my bestiary?
Oh no.
I
somewhere.
think it might be.
Alright, okay.
Seeing as no one's come to get us, I'm going to have a wander down to see what's happening within the precinct.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go see what's going on, because I'm a little concerned nobody's come to bother us.
As you head into the precinct, you find Sergeant Olo working through some paperwork. Glances up, he gives you a smile and a wave. Alright, Lyra, was it? Yeah, you doing all good? Settling in with your new team good?
Good morning, Ola. How are you doing yourself?
Oh, yeah, cracking. How's the, oh, what was her name? Oh, I'm terrible with names. Mia Arina? How's she doing? Settling in with the group well as well?
I believe you can ask her yourself.
I'm in here. You can ask me.
He'll,
I'm doing well. I'm settling in as best as I can.
He'll rub his eyes and he'll squint and look around. Go, oh, sorry. Another all-nighter. You know how it is when you get up in ranks. Well, I guess you don't, obviously, but I guess you will someday. Just barely any rest.
Wow,
Oh.
the shade.
Precinct's going crazy with the festival. How are you? And he glances down at some paperwork, flicks through it. Arina.
Wait, you're flicking paperwork at Arena?
He's looking
Sorry.
at you.
No, he's like
looking at-
flicking through the pages to like look for your name on them.
Oh.
He's not like yeeting a piece of paper across the room at your face.
Wow.
He's gone full
Your
gambit.
This is my superpower.
Sorry, Polo.
Folds it up into an airplane, just throws it at you like it's a classroom. I'm the sergeant and you can't do nothing about it.
Bureaucracy, man.
Well, that might be the lieutenant, not Sergeant Olo.
Right, yeah, so he was talking to you how you're finding the new group.
So far, so good. It's early still, but I have high expectations.
Where even are you from, Arena?
Well, funny you should ask. I think we knew each other back in the old days at the Lotus Guard.
You what?
Maybe we knew of each other.
I'm sorry, I
You don't
don't
remember me?
much of my time over there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think we knew of each other. I don't think we were the best of friends.
Sorry for whatever I did. I honestly can't remember, so I apologize in advance.
It's all good. We all have things we want to block out sometime.
Oh God, what did I do?
No, it's nothing about that.
Right, so you're lot heading out to keep up your investigation. Do you need anything from me?
Just the location of that dreaming palace that we found out about. Do we have an address for that place?
He pauses and tugs at his beard thoughtfully. I don't believe we do. I don't have an address for everywhere in the city, unfortunately. Dreaming Palace is pretty newly built. I think it's Osprey Lane, maybe? Somewhere around that area?
Maybe our good friend, the owner of the Tipsy Tengu, she might know where it is.
I was thinking just a sting.
Yes, that could be a good shout. You busted up that problem over there. Could be she'll help you out.
I know that that he was there. We met the proprietor on that particular job.
How convenient.
It is, indeed.
What an enormous coincidence.
Yes,
Dun, dun,
it's,
dun.
Plot device, Miss Willowheart. Plot device.
it's as if they had an image and a token.
Yeah,
Suspicious.
strange. I did think he was suspicious. The very first time I saw him, he was chuckling about us, reprimanding those people who were there. I didn't particularly like that.
Specifically mentioned that he's the owner of the place that you would have to visit later.
He
Yes,
hadn't
I
at the time.
did. Yes.
How remarkably
Or
convenient.
did he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I'm sorry, I'm just here calling the adventure out now.
I'm almost completely sure he did not mention the name of his hotel at the time, because otherwise we would have all realized, because that is literally the name of this chapter.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
God damn it,
And she
my
went
memory is...
not to look at this because spoilers.
Yeah, but it's not him that's the villain, obviously. There's like a devil there or something. The devil in the Dreaming
Nonsense. It's
Palace.
totally
Devil
him.
at the Dreaming
The
Palace.
devil.
No, it's not him.
Unless it's
With
a metaphorical devil.
No, it's a literal devil.
A
There's
li-
they've
literary
literally got
devil.
a devil there, and it's not him.
Are you sure it's not a demon?
No, it's lawful good. Lawful evil.
It's a plot
Close
twist.
enough.
It's an angel.
There you go.
Oh dear.
Oh, lawful good's even worse.
Yeah.
We're all gonna
No.
freaking die. Yeah, so we met him, and hopefully he'll be willing to talk to us since we stopped those ruffians from bashing any more objects into his head.
Should imagine so. Give you a good insight as to what's happening there as well. Can't imagine he'd be too unwilling to talk to you. He seems, if I remember your report correctly, he seemed a well-to-do chap.
And he had a bodyguard with him. She might know some stuff too. What was her name? I'm thinking.
Ralso was the one of them, but I think that was...
Yeah, Ralso. That's it.
Ralso. I can't remember your report that well, unfortunately.
Pretty sure that was
I
her name.
don't blame you with that much paperwork.
Ralso.
And if that leaves nothing, you had given us a list of people who are missing. Is there a list of those people who reported these as missing? Just any further leads who we might ask of details of these people in the first place?
Let's see, who was on your list?
There was Anastasia Corvus, the Irisini wine merchant, Archibald Knight, and Minerva Frum, who were
Yeah, you guys brought that into me. So Anastasia was the name. I think it was one of her colleagues reported her missing.
Another Iraseni?
I know that the family that was looking for, the Vindi family, that their nephew reported them missing. Is the nephew somebody from town, or?
Yes, they're from town.
So maybe ask the nephew where they were staying. Because that would be 4 people that we're looking for currently.
Could be a good move.
The Masons, of course, we went there. I strongly assume that that was their boss who had mentioned those as going missing, or at least someone else involved, but we were there. Elama Mohaso, a dwarven scholar from down in Rahadum.
Yes. Came up to the city to study at the foray. I think the front desk took a report in. I don't have much by way of details on that, unfortunately.
And the ranger, Lerma Walker?
Wouldn't be able to tell you, unfortunately.
Alright. Can we
This report that was taken in at the front desk for Elama, there wouldn't be any more about that we could take a look at now that while we're still here.
I think that case was brought in by Brightwall. Information was given to the front desk. Brightwall head out this morning, fresh on the heels of whatever that big missing machine is.
Gravebreaker?
Yes, the Gravebreaker. He even knows how that thing vanished. I mean, he's one of our best wizards we've got here, so the hope is he can find something out. You wouldn't believe it, huge lad. Arms the size of your chest, frickin' wizard. Apparently just loves the gym.
It's my family for you.
I suppose that's true.
The combination meets my approval.
Alright then.
I still say we head to the Dreaming Palace first.
I kind of would like to go and speak to Sergeant Major Mary and just ask her if she found out anything about that poison on those daggers, and maybe if it's the connection to the substance that poisoned the zoo animals.
Yeah, sure. So, heading over to question her, it looks like she is not actually there, but one of her assistants is, who gives you a big, bright smile, seems cheery enough, and will start looking over some notes. Oh yes, the toxin. Right, yes, of course. Well, she did have a look into it, and I can give you some more information if you're wanting to know. But the actual item itself is a regular run-of-the-mill sort of crook's poison. It's not anything actually special or magical in any form compared to this strange black one that's near impossible to identify. I can't give you anything with regards to that one. And I've completely forgotten how to identify these items. Identify it. Rod, how do I do it?
The item is at the right should have like a circle with a question mark in it.
Oh, I found
That
it.
sort of icon.
Yep, so it's a it's a black smear poison. You pop it on your weapons, it becomes quite damaging. Why is that?
Do you know what the side effects are of smear poison?
I'm just wondering why that's not identified it very. That in. Makes you a bit weaker, slowly kills you. Usual poison fare. Usually not too hard to shrug it off, you know. Decent person could. Your average citizen might die, but I don't think it would affect any of us too much.
The
Right.
other poisons, the black one, I'm not sure.
On the daggers that I'm
Might
asking.
have, yes, but the one from before, do you think that might have any connection in any way to any oozes?
Ooh,
Just a random thought.
Yeah.
like a jelly?
Scratches his head and looks confused. No, maybe. Not
No,
sure.
What kind of compounds make up that nasty barrel substance? Is
They're
it
still
like
working on it,
magical?
it looks
Is
like.
it like a drug, do you think?
As
Or is
you're
it
questioning this poor apprentice, he looks more and more panicked as he obviously has no freaking clue what you're even asking him.
Alex, he's clearly stated that they're not sure what it is yet. I think asking the same question again isn't going to receive a separate answer.
Well, but I wasn't asking the same question again. I was asking if they have any idea, like, what compounds went into it. If it's magical, if it's a drug, if it's
They just know it's magical.
nature-based. That's the question.
It's
Yeah, they've said
They
it's
said
magical.
they're
What was that?
unidentifiable.
how about we come to an agreement that when we know something, we'll come to you, as opposed to you coming and asking us.
That
twice a
works for
day.
me.
Mhm.
Have the sergeant major come to us?
Sergeant Major has many people she can task to come see us.
Yes.
I will be amenable to that then, yes.
He gives you 2 thumbs up and looks incredibly relieved that he somehow managed to avoid more about them.
I shoot him an apologetic
the bizarre
look.
water barrel he knows nothing about.
Christ. So, friends, Romans, countrymen,
Lend me your ears.
do you think that maybe one or two of us
Where
should
are
take
my
weapons?
intrepid guardsmen off to?
Sorry, what was that, Shadow?
Maybe we should equip those poison daggers?
Those that poison probably
If you guys
good.
are saying something, I'm not here.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, whoops,
Oh,
that's
oh dear.
bad.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh dear.
What's happened?
When did it set that? Oh dear.
Oh
What?
lord.
Panicking Kiki noises.
No.
Kiki! Herp derp herp derp herp derp herp derp herp derp herp derp. Just let me know when you can hear my coughing.
What happened? I have no idea. I just can't hear anything on my headset. Oh, there we go. I have audio again.
Hello?
Oh,
Hello.
can you hear us?
Hello, yes.
That is good. That
No
is
idea what
good.
happened.
That is very strange. Discord, what the hell?
I don't think it was Discord. I think it was something with my headset. I unplugged it, replugged it in, and turned it on, turned it back on again, adjusted the volume on it manually. For some reason, it was saying that there was a lot of noise coming out through Chrome. You can still hear them. Yeah, I could see that they were transmitting. But it just wasn't coming through my headset for some reason.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm thinking of buying a
Oof.
new headset because I've got a small windfall of money. So, aka payday.
That is good. Payday.
Payday!
Lads.
lads. Right,
As you do.
To return to what we were saying, I think if any of us are going to have the poisons, those would probably best be used by either Zelix or Rivalor.
It's on a dagger, so it's somebody.
We can. It's been removed from the dagger. It can now be placed on your weapons.
I'm just gonna be using my whip to try and.
Why don't we give it
Like-
to Rivalor to put on his darts? Is that?
I'm pretty sure it can go on the whip.
Uh,
I don't think there's anything saying it can't.
that's
That does seem a bit meta.
How would I even roll that? Because I mean, if you miss with a whip, that's just gonna send like a splatting wad of freaking poison flinging
But-
across the room.
But I mean, it
Yes.
depends.
Rules as written.
Yeah,
Well, I'll
rules-
stand in the back. I don't want to get hit.
Rules is written, yes, it's perfectly fine and viable and legal.
I mean, I'm assuming the whips there, flouting us what you can use, assumedly probably have a metal end.
Does mine?
That seems
I would-
awfully dangerous, but I'll allow it.
Well,
That seems very dangerous.
It's a dangerous weapon.
That is
It's-
I think that's
You
a
guys
different
have
kind
lo-
of whip. That's a scorpion whip.
You guys have nice non-lethal weapons. You're like metal-tipped whips. Oh, boy.
There is
Listen,
a different kind of
stop
whip.
kink-shaming us.
There is a different kind of whip that specifically does lethal damage that probably is more the sort of thing that you're thinking of.
Fair enough. I didn't realize there was a alternative version.
Yeah, this is just a length of rope, basically, I think.
I don't think it would be too out there to suggest that you've strapped some rubber to the end that you've dipped in poison.
Yes, rubber poison tip.
I will allow it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Could I put it on my sword cane instead?
Yeah. It wouldn't affect both items, but it.
No, it wouldn't, but that's fine. It just might be nice to have something that's, not gonna poison somebody.
You would be aware that you would probably be in a fair amount of trouble if you started poisoning innocent people. Poison.
Yeah.
Or even criminals, like your bog standard normal run-of-the-mill criminal. If they come in and they've got poison in them, it's not a good look.
That's probably no. It's not a good look.
I
say we
you
leave
do
the poison
stumble into,
here,
like,
personally.
A Varguil or
Or a
Yeah.
gelatinous cube.
other
Or
kinds of
oak
monsters,
jelly. Yeah.
people would be less upset with that.
Okay, so maybe apply it to the sword cane.
Well, you don't need
And
to
lay-
apply it
have
right
the-
off the bat. You can just keep it with you in the
It
bottle.
takes an action or two. I can't remember off the top of my head.
3
to apply.
actions, I believe.
3 actions. Is it? Is it 3 actions?
That's what it's listed as.
For most poisons, a couple use only a single action to apply. I think.
Okay, yeah. So you could apply it as you go into combat or as 3 actions. Like prep everything.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Alright, so
say
maybe
we
just
leave
keep it
them-
on me for
yeah.
now, but leave my weapons unpoisoned for the time being.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's what I was kind of thinking in the first place. I was just trying to figure out who it would be best to carry it.
I was just thinking it's extra damage for those moments when we need it.
Yeah, it's good on someone
Yeah, I
like
suppose.
Rivalor who can guarantee a hit.
Yeah.
I would probably load it up on darts or throwing daggers or something, but it's all up to you.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah.
Maybe apply it to one of my darts. I doubt I can put the ochre jelly to sleep.
That's right. Shoosh, ogre jelly.
With that handled, I
Hush, little
assume
baby,
the
don't
next
say
stop
a
is
word.
probably the Dreaming Palace.
We were gonna go talk to the family's nephew.
I seriously think we should just go to the Dreaming Palace, since that's the closest we can get to actually getting somebody not missing anymore.
If you heard Sergeant Olo, he said that it's recently been built. So Minkayan workers going missing in a place that has recently been built is more likely.
It was 3 to 4 months ago. Finished.
Oh, okay.
But most of this district was recently built.
The entire district is recently
Well, yeah, it's been rebuilt, the whole thing.
Everything, yeah.
I've ordered my new heads.
That's good.
That was quick.
The joys of internet.
I'm going for a Biodynamic DT 8080 edition. It's like £140 professional audio grade headset.
Oh, wow.
Because I
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
The good shit.
I know, right? I'm not going, gamer headset. I'm like, yeah, I want professional quality.
Yeah, those last for like a decade.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, I really can't stand. Like, let's stick a couple of lights on the side of your head and charge you an extra 50 quid for the convenience. Head now glowing.
Oh, yeah.
Or cat ears.
How dumb
stand
that
that.
is. Yeah.
Like mine, I have cat ears on mine. I'm not ashamed.
I'll have you know, cat ears most definitely increase your perception score.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, if your
that's
headset
true.
has cat ears, you actually increase your like aim in games by 20%.
Yeah.
It's like the moment you get
Well,
a
shit.
gaming chair, your aim is like 50 times better.
Yeah, you didn't know.
But yeah, that guy wasn't using hacks, he had a gaming chair, guys.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Alright, I'm stopping by the cafeteria to get some food, seeing as we've just woke up before we head out, and then good to go.
Yeah,
That is a good idea.
she'll happily make you a nice breakfast. On the menu today is bacon, eggs, and toast. It's more of a sort of a buffet experience as you head in. She's just got a selection of them laid out on plates for people to pick up and sort their own selves out. And she's consistently making a lunch now in the back room. Some of the food's getting a little less warm, but they sit upon these long black knit slabs, which if you touch them, they're quite hot.
I do not touch one.
Ah.
Good on you.
That's called rain.
I do have a high intel stat.
Okay. I just take like a light breakfast.
Yeah, no one would get in the way if you're having a nice light breakfast. There's a few smiles going round, and seems the department's in a reasonably good mood.
That's good. That's good.
And with a warm breakfast in your tummies, you can head along to your adventure.
Huzzah!
You didn't get an exact address for the Dreaming Palace.
For the Dreaming Palace.
If you guys do want to make society rolls, which I probably should have asked for earlier, you can see if any of you actually know the address, just from like, living in the area
I might
that
have
has
something. In any settlement you frequent regularly, you can use recall knowledge action with society to know a source of information you can discover. The DC is usually significantly higher, but the I see. So I can use society instead of diplomacy to do these checks. Interesting.
I think
Wow.
it's.
Wow.
I think that's for if you're trying to talk to locals to get some intel. This is more of a just having a memory. Or knowing your area.
It says recall knowledge.
What is it anyway?
What?
It's
Rate-wise.
Yeah, in any settlement you frequent regularly, you can use a recall knowledge action with society to know the same sorts of information that you could discover with diplomacy to gather information.
Oh, so that's gather information, not
Yeah.
recall knowledge.
Yeah, no.
No, it's like I can
But
recall
if
the
you've
knowledge
been
instead
there, you
of
can
gathering
recall knowledge. Yeah.
Isn't that like you go around talking to people though?
Yeah, that's why it says
That's
instead of
the gather-
diplomacy.
No,
That's,
saying
that's just for the
but-
gather information. It's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, no, this is saying I don't need to do the gather information. I can just omniscient mind, third eye open, just big brain. I know
You have
where it
already
is.
gathered it.
I have
Rivalor,
gathered it.
either way, based on the fact that everyone had a shit roll apart from Rivalor.
Rivalor knows where we're going.
Unsurprising.
Okay.
Rivalor, you have a vague idea that it's somewhere on Osprey Lane, on the corner of Sabaton Road. It's a reasonably big place, 3 stories. It has almost a castle, palacey aesthetic to it, with a battlement near the top, and its whole tower section reasonably decent from outside. And you are aware that it's rebuilt over an old factory or some sort of foundry or something. So a lot of the construction is built around that, which has thick greying stones as opposed to the more modern architecture which the rest of it is built around. It's a reasonably nice looking place.
Follow me!
Hi-ho, Silver!
Hi-ho, Gungadin!
Suivez-moi.
Am I taking you all over to the new map then? I will.
Yes.
To the new map!
To the map, to the map. Oof, there's not much space on this map to throw you all down, so I'll just squeeze you in here.
Well, this is awkward. Hey, I see her also. She's uninjured. There's a red thing around her. She's hostile.
Oh, I think that's just like. Wait, I think everything is.
I think that's the
hostile.
default.
Let's
Yes,
just see
yes,
if
I-
I'm going to update it.
I was joking. I was joking.
How do I edit the red thing around? Ralph, so
I think if you double click them to open the sheet.
Oh, okay. If I
Yeah.
Oh,
update
to be
it
fair,
token
better than be marked as hostile rather than pristine.
Oi,
Oi.
they're only farmers.
That's a pristine worker.
That's an immaculate worker.
For the context of that one, in my game, I accidentally made the tokens for the farm workers traps, hazards instead of NPC sheets, and so when they all moused over them, instead of saying uninjured, it said pristine because traps don't get injured; they're either damaged or pristine and stuff.
Wow.
Oh,
Not the only mistake I've made.
I do have a picture for you guys.
Oh. It does have a battlement.
It
The
does.
way that it's like separated off from everything is really unsettling.
Is
It's
really
The
incredibly.
house on the hill.
Can we like walk around the place once just to scope out from all the sides?
Yeah, feel free
Because
to
this is
wander
disturbing.
around.
Hi, also.
I'm assuming I can't see that through the window. I'm assuming I
Yeah.
can't see that through the window. I'm
Yeah, you can
assuming
see
I
that.
can't.
You can see
Oh, we
that.
can't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Well,
immediately
oh,
look
wow.
at it. I'm just
Okay,
going,
that's.
Yes, I should note all religions are permitted here in Absalom. So
They are,
this
but it
fact
is a
here
room.
is yes, that it looks like a bedroom with with that symbol that is
sacrificial
very
ground.
suspicious. Yeah. What's his name?
Asmodeus.
Asmodeus.
You want me to actually read you the description of the room?
Sure. I think we're definitely
From the
looking
window,
into
yeah, I
here.
guess.
Yeah, so within the room there's red stone inlays forming a pentagram encircled by runes. To the west of the room stands a wrought iron four-poster bed with an iron sculpture of a grinning imp at each of the upper pillars. Opposite the bed is a wardrobe depicting agonized humans skewered on pitchforks, painted black and draped in long regal streamers of crimson.
Okay.
Otherwise, it seems like
Okay.
a complete
Oh,
Shellaxians.
my people.
I think for the time being we give the Chelish benefit of a doubt.
I grit my
Goddamn
teeth and say,
Cheliac.
fine.
Let it slide, but if, you know... it could just be a themed room for particular guests who want to feel at home.
These are some massive hallways. Like, what the hell? This is 10 feet wide and nearly 100 feet long. What is this place?
The palace.
It really is.
Yes.
It is a very
Say.
upper class establishment. Not, you know.
So you mean the sort of place where Red Mantis assassins would kill Mankayan laborers?
Yeah, sure, why not? If that's what you mad lads want to go with. As you guys are around this side, you do notice more of that original architecture with the thick grey walls that seem to be part of the original design as opposed to anything new.
Oh,
So-
built into an original structure. Neat.
So there's another room here, of which I will note is significantly less Chellish than the other one.
Oh, did you want a quick description of that lovely little room?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Yeah, so the windows along the walls of this bedroom are stylized portholes. A large painting of a pirate ship hangs on one wall with portholes that show a tropical ocean scene. A large painting of a pirate ship hangs on one wall, and the wooden bed frame has been carved to resemble thick ropes of elaborate knots. Classic wooden pirate chest straight out of a storybook sits at the foot of the bed. And if you could all just make me a quick perception.
Blind. Where's? Oh, that's under.
That's a crit.
Yes, blind if you feel like that, but everyone bar
Excuse me?
Arena. It looks like a very fancy golden necklace hanging. Those
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not. That's not good.
Oh, anytime you
Does the
see
room look like
anything
it's been
shiny.
used recently?
Shiny out of a chest. Yeah.
Yeah.
The room does look like it's been.
Hmm.
Although, like a cleaned used, room service.
Hmm.
I could be wrong on this, but these are quite clearly themed rooms. And I don't know if they're themed to just different ways of life or different places. But for the time being, I'm going to assume they're themed off of gods, with the previous one being Asmodeus and this one being Besmara.
Seems quite possible. Are there? I think we'd probably not look as closely into the northern room with the lady
woman
there.
sat there doing her crochet, and you're peering into her bedroom. I'll give you
Get in on her.
Face pressed against the glass.
a brief description.
She's making
That
something
room is
for the
actually
red
a
room.
lot shorter than other ones, with the ceiling only 5 foot high. And upon glancing in, you notice the woman inside is a halfling, and most of the room has a wooden design, leaves, branches, and such. Everything in there's much smaller. There's a small garden bed that you guys are obviously peeking over, and there are pink curtains and painted of fruit bowls and other things all across the wall.
I suppose she has lived here for a long while.
It could be a room specifically to make the stout folk feel more at home.
Who are you calling stout folk? Fucking Volpine.
And might assume you guys are looking into the other final room as you're snooping past the building.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed.
It's a huge, quite spacious room with large curtained windows that would overlook the garden, but obviously you're outside. And there's a huge feather bed, a couch, a coffee table, and several chairs furnishing the room, with large paintings of city landmarks such as the Starstone Cathedral and Antique Keep hanging upon the wall.
while I think that room could be based off of Abadar, I think it's safe to abandon the idea that they're all based off of gods. I think they're based off of ways to make particular guests feel at home.
I concur.
I'd assume probably if it was a second floor, there was possibly some theme towards Minkai, maybe even. We'll find out.
We'll have to go in and find out.
As
We walk in.
Hello.
you enter, Ralso gives you a smile from behind the counter, and he seems uncertain as you basically all stomp in at once for a few moments, and has an awkward smile on her face. And can I help?
Hopefully. For a number of cases, we were hoping that we might be able to see your guest list recently. There's several that we're trying to get our hands on that we at least suspect may have been staying here.
Oh, Mr. Pratchett normally keeps the guest list. I've not actually had opportunity to look across it very much myself. I tend to just notate things in it, and he'll collect paperwork that I make and update it himself in his office.
Can we speak to Mr.
Might
Pratchett?
be able to see it then?
Oh, he's not in the city at the moment. He had to leave to go back and visit family. He's had some head troubles. Act at a tavern.
Oh.
Maybe you remember us from
I'll
that
get out
tavern.
a notepad. You wouldn't happen to know which tavern this is and where he might have gotten to?
Oh. He lives... Ponders for a moment, seeming to think and recall where he's from. North? I know he had to get a boat from the harbour, but I don't know the finite details of it. And we were attacked at the Tengu like a while ago, and you know his head's not been quite right since then. He's been a bit out of it, and he thought best to take some time away from the city as it's being very loud, and left running things in my hands. So I tend to just make a note of who comes and leaves, pop it under his door so he can organise it all in the books when he gets back.
Do you mind if we take a look at his office and the paperwork?
Oh, the door is locked. Even I don't have the key.
I might be able to get it open.
With a crowbar?
I
With
have
the
thieves'
master key?
tools. I have thieves' tools.
I'm not sure it's
don't think
appropriate
that's going
for
to
us
happen.
to. I'm not sure it's appropriate for us to stroll into someone's workplace and pick the lock to their door.
We just want to look at the paperwork to see if any of the people we're looking for have stayed here.
We could easily do so by asking the other guests if that would be all right. I say this to the receptionist.
Well, we prefer our guests not to be interrupted too much, but I suppose it would be too much to have you speak to one or two of them, if that's what you'd like.
We'll clearly be as unobtrusive as possible.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
I suppose we could come this way. Do follow. Head along here. Open the door, and I probably should have given you a description of the lobby. So that the lobby itself has large arch windows that illuminate an elegantly polished floor, with the warm wooden furniture at the hotel's directly across. And the stout main doors, double doors of bronze lattice, are carved to resemble intertwined rising. A few comfortable chairs surround a fireplace in the west, while to the east a four counter in circles. Sorry. Off.
I know the feeling.
Sorry.
Yeesh.
And as
Oh,
she
good.
heads through, you see a sweeping bifurcated staircase rising rising up from the northern end of the place, splitting and curving each side as it reaches the second floor. A huge portrait of a handsome half-elven man looms over the staircase at the base of the stairs. There is handrails at the pillars topped with statues, one of a crying angel and a laughing devil. Tiled corridors stretch off to the east and west, while bronze ladders lead south to the lobby. The entire place reeks of elegance and sophistication. Walks you along the corridor.
If I might ask, who is the portrait of?
Oh, it's Henrid. Grinning and smiling at us as we always step by. He's a very handsome.
That's the owner of the
Quite.
hotel, Lyra.
Quite.
I just wanted to double check that it was him, because it could have been his ancestor or something.
And she will squat down, opening the door that is only 4 foot high. For you guys, inside the halfling woman puts down her crochet. Oh, hello there. Is something the matter?
Good morning, ma'am. Would we be able to borrow a moment of your time?
Oh, we're quite all right. Oh, you're the local guard, aren't you?
We are indeed.
Ooh, that's interesting. How could I be of service? And she looks
My name is
towards
Lyra
Rhonda.
Teldeth.
Oh, Lyra, isn't that lovely?
I was hoping I could ask you a few questions about some fellow residents of this accommodation that you're staying at, and if you might perhaps know anything about them.
Been here quite a while. Lovely place. I've been in the city since the Radiant Festival in Bracken. Yes, questions.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm Rivalor. We are pursuing a few missing persons. We're wondering if you've seen any there. Shoot, let me pull up the place where it's at. First of all, there's a group of Minkayan laborers. Yes, they're not from around here.
They were searching for places to stay. You wouldn't happen to see them stop by, would you?
No, I don't think so. I'm usually in my room, or I'm at the festival, or the odd time just gazing up at that portrait. Mr. Pratt is quite the stallion, isn't he? She ends up tittering along at that and then smiles at the group. It's quite lovely here. What was I saying?
Have you seen any Minkayan laborers about?
Oh, Mingayans, they're the people from the
Tianjia, the Dragon Empires.
Oh.
A long ways away.
I think I went there once when I was much younger. Yes, I'm from Taldor myself, actually, and I travelled little when I was young. Places. Yeah, sorry, no, I have not seen any labourers apart from Ralso. He comes in and cleans my room, and it's a lovely. Asbet, you are. Can I take a brief look around the corridor here and the doors, and possibly give a quick listen? Yes. Which door do you want to listen in on first?
I would take the far door first. That's both near the older structure and also less likely to be seen by Ralso.
Okay. Give me a hidden perception roll as you listen in at the door. Ooh. You, beyond this door, would hear the faint crackling of a fireplace, but naught else, as my stops doing the music.
Are the
Music, make
doors
music.
themed as well?
The doors are not themed with. They all generally have that bronze inlay and look very fanciful. The walls are all made of a dark wood. Seems relatively sturdy, but it's not anything out of the ordinary you would expect.
I'll leave it at that then. And from here, like just out of sight.
You want to snoop at this door? Give me a perception roll.
I just picture Asbet like sniffing the door and leaning the ear against it and like scratching the door and like licking the finger. It's like...
I'm trying to think.
Oh wait, that's me.
I think the best way to word this without getting in trouble on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I think we.
demonetized.
It's a honeymoon suite, and I'll leave it at that. The rest is up to your imagination as to what Asbet hears on the other side of that door.
Asbet starts blushing as she puts her ear to the
It
door.
sounds like it might be.
Puts
more
her hand to her mouth.
Pardon?
Lyra, Revelor.
Nothing. Never mind.
Okay. It doesn't sound like it sounds obviously like, not torture.
Enjoyable activities
Yes.
done in. Yeah.
Behind
Revelor starts
closed doors.
floating towards the door like in a cartoon, attracted to the sound.
I'm not that bad, I swear.
Yeah. Lyra and Revelor. Maybe ask her about the zookeeper and the vet.
Yeah, I was scrolling up to where our list was.
We don't
and I-
really have too much of a physical description of those two people, though. That's the issue.
Hold on one second. I think I might.
Miss, is there anyone that you often saw at this accommodation that you haven't seen in a good while? Perhaps a bit of a peculiar occurrence that you haven't seen them? A sudden change in their schedule?
No, I don't think so. No, everyone's still. I don't think so. Some people come and go. It's the nature of hotels. I've been here for 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks. A nice place to stay, but I'm very sorry.
It's not a problem.
Yes, no one's vanished. Me personally tend to keep tabs on it. That's lovely. Mr. Pratchett. I'd like to take him for a ride.
Wow.
You wouldn't have any information on an Archibald Knight staying here, ma'am? I'm Zalix, by the way, and I think he was a halfling. He owned the zoo that's in town.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I wish I could be more help, guardsman, but a lovely place to stay. No. Know anything about a knight? No knights really.
It's no issue, ma'am. We apologize for the obtrusion.
Oh, would you like a
Thank you for your
scarf?
cooperation.
I've been making a lovely scarf. Mr. Pratchett turned it down when I wanted to make a scarf for him. Oh, but he's so nice. He dropped by just the other night, and it was very lovely.
He was here the other night, ma'am.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
What was he stopping by for? Just to check in, make sure you're okay?
Oh, yes, he's very smooth talking and always very nice. Quite charming. He was, in the main dining hall.
If I peer into her room, would I notice anything that's odd?
Beyond the fact the room is a lot shorter.
Beyond the fact the room is, I would need to stoop to get into the room.
Let me check.
There is a box full of incredibly well-captured pictures of Hendred Pratchett.
Super painter extraordinaire, that's all.
Yes.
So it's just what we just interrupted.
The pictures are plastered all over one of the walls.
Yeah.
There's a small shrine.
Just stalker levels of paintings, him staring in the hallway.
Facing directly towards it.
There's fan art of him.
I get why.
There's a Hendred Pratchett body pillow that's submitted.
Make me a hidden perception.
And blind GM roll. Attributes perception.
And what does that sword do specifically?
That's odd is a feat that I am looking for on my character sheet for the precise wording, and it says, when you enter a new location, such as a room or corridor, you immediately notice one thing out of the ordinary. The GM determines what it is. Or here, can I do...
Yeah, you can link it.
How do I link it?
If
Click
you
on
click the icon, that should
yeah.
probably do it.
Like the book.
Oh, there. Okay, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. I was clicking on the name.
Oh, I think you still have it set to blind as well.
That's fine, I can
That
see
is-
it.
Yeah, that's true.
You notice what looks to be a few holes in the moulding of the sea.
I turn to Ralso and go, what's the room above this one?
Oh, or above this one. She would answer immediately, but you're gonna have to give me a hot second here whilst I check the map.
It's all good. It's all good.
Or above corridor.
Interesting.
Just above this room.
Yes, I mean, there's some corridor and a bit of another room. Mostly just corridor. The room above. The Five Kings room, actually.
Fancy.
Five Kings room.
Oh yes, it's one of our better ones. It's not as good as our showroom, but it's a very nice one. It's mostly designed for dwarves with crowns and gem styles and greystone walls and things like that. We try to make our guests as comfortable as possible here.
And I assume most, if not all, of the rooms are themed.
Most, yes, most I would say. If you do like to make our guests comfortable, I can show you one of the themed rooms if you like.
Would that be this one down the hall here?
Which one?
If I do that, yeah, that.
Oh
one,
yes, that one's I think it's a lovely boat one, or I can show you one of the other ones.
I think I'd quite like to have a look around the seafarer's cabin, shall we say?
Of course, yes. We do have a guest staying there currently. I'm not sure if they're in at the moment or if they're out visiting the festivities. I wouldn't feel too comfortable showing around inside the room proper.
That's no worries. If they are in, it just saves us some trouble of finding the next person.
Yes, well, if they're not in, I can't obviously let you in the room.
Of course, of course. I turn to the halfling. We apologize for the obtrusion. We'll allow you to go back to your business now. Thank you for being so
Thank you,
forthcoming.
man.
Quite alright, quite alright. Have a lovely remainder to your day, and if you are still in the area, I can give you some cakes later.
We'll think about stopping by. Enjoy the Radiant Festival.
Ooh! I think I have art for you guys, actually, if I can find that quick.
Uh-oh.
Da 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 da! Look at that kindly old.
Aww.
Look at her.
Oh, God. She's gonna eat our souls, isn't she?
She goes back
Probably.
and continues doing her happy
Just
work.
make sure she doesn't feed you any gingerbread.
What have you got against gingers and bread?
Hmm?
You got an issue with
She's
ginger?
feeding people gingerbread. She might be related to me. Just throwing that out there.
While that conversation was going on, Asbeth did kind of wander off a bit and walked down the hall and back,
Clunking along
near
in
the
heavy
stairs
armor.
up
Okay, yeah.
a bit.
Ninja.
Would you have heard or seen anything of any other guests about here?
No, you don't see any guests just wandering around or anything like that. Are you listening at any of the doors in particular?
Yes, the one next to the Chilaxian room. I'll put Asbeth there. So you would have listened as unobtrusively as you could about that one, but none of the others.
She would not hear anything from inside there. Keeping in mind that's not entirely odd, given that, you know, the main purpose of hotels is to provide somewhere of a night whilst you're visiting the festival.
Unless you're at a honeymoon suite.
Unless
I
you're
must
not.
admit.
Yeah.
It's just that there exists the possibility that it might lead to the locked office, but she'll refrain from opening the door. There have been, after all, several other rooms that also have had no windows here, which is a bit odd, but I think she'll then just wander back after taking a lengthy look up the stairs, but not going that far from the rest of the group.
Yeah, so Ralso would have knocked upon the door a few times, waited half a minute, knocked again, waited half a minute, and then pulled one of her keys out, unlocked the door, peeked inside, had a look around. No one in here currently, so they might be back later on today, but most of the rooms are booked up at the moment.
Do you know who?
Can I lean around the corner and just mutter under my breath a bit and cast Detect Magic?
Yes, so Detect Magic pulses out as a 30-foot AoE around you.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't specifically target just that room. I'll assume you're not going to be detecting what your allies have on them, and you would detect magic, yes.
Good.
Who stays in this room?
Oh, can't remember his name off the top of my head. He showed up 2-3 days ago. The fella that was in it before, lovely young lady, Jennifer, I think her name was, Jennifer Alfin. And then she goes to close the door, and looks at your group. If you'd like a tour of the hotel, I can show you the display suite and maybe one of the other rooms.
It would
What
be appreciated. This is a
what
lovely
did the
place.
young man look like exactly? Do you remember? Hair color, eye color, height?
Green eyes, red hair, about my height, and she's roughly 5'8". Seemed a reasonably well-to-do, handsome young chap.
Do you know why he's staying? Is he here for the festival, or do you have business in town?
Discretion is one of the things you can expect at the Dreaming Palace. We have to keep that in high regard.
That's understandable. I think if we're all in agreement, the tour would be quite favorable for us.
Yeah, tour sounds good.
Good, and she'll start heading down past you guys down the corridor, leading towards this room here, which she will open up and indicate for you to head inside. This is our display room. It's usually used for going off to people. We call it the Primarch Suite. Actually, it's the best room in the house, and obviously it's the most expensive one. But we mostly keep it free of customers. We can offer it to any coming in dignitaries or the like. It's a reasonably pricey room, 10 gold per night.
Do I notice anything with that's odd?
The room is remarkably normal. It's just a normal, lovely room. It's extraordinarily large. I mean, it's 20 foot across by some 30 foot long. It is a deluxe suite, as you imagine. Doesn't look like it's been used very many times, though.
What's in this door next to me?
You can open the door and have a look inside if you wish.
I will open the door.
It's the bug!
And of course the ensuite.
Oh, gotcha. It's got its own bath. Okay. I don't notice anything in the bath, do I?
No, it's an entirely normal room.
There's a live trout.
Oh, the fishing.
As you can see, everything's well and above board. It's lovely here. If you'd all like to spend the night, we could comp you this room for free, but
Take us upstairs, if you please.
This must have
Really?
taken quite the investment to put together. I hope this isn't prying, but
quite well.
I can imagine. But if I'm suddenly quite curious, what did Mr. Pratchett do before this that he was able to afford to set this up in the first place?
Oh, traveler, adventurer, that kind of deal. You know the ones.
Huh.
Place
Can only
to
assume he
place,
must have
never
been
really
good at what he
settling
did
down.
then.
As an adventurer, I'm a bit surprised then that he took the blow to his head in that way, though I suppose all of us can be taken by surprise at that moment.
Take us upstairs, if you please.
I'll take one of you up, but I can't have you all stomping around upstairs, disrupting the guests.
I'm probably the loudest. I'll remain down here.
I'll go.
I will go as well.
I don't think you guys know how to count to 1.
I think, seeing as Riverlaw seems to have something he wants to investigate on the second floor, it's probably wisest for him to take the position.
I get very close to Ralsto and go, listen to me very closely. If you continue obstructing this guard investigation, I will throw you in the stockades. Am I clear?
You have no legal precedence to do that. This is my place of
Do I not?
business. You do not. You can't just randomly throw people in the stockades because they won't show you around their place of business.
I facepalm right now. I facepalm at this moment.
You don't have a warrant to be rummaging around. She's being more than accommodating by letting you chat to guests, peer into rooms and rummage around.
If you want to go, Rivalor, you can look upstairs.
Yes, I would like to do that.
If the rest of you could sit in the waiting room, and if anyone comes in looking for rooms, do tell them that I'll be back soon. You'll head along.
Not a problem.
Start heading upstairs, and I will need to.
Selix, you have thieves' tools.
Yeah.
I think I can pull you to this scene on my own.
Looks like I do not own any token with vision in this scene.
That's right. I'm just
There I am.
gonna have to grab her as well. Oh goodness!
All good. All good.
I cannot see what the rest of you are doing, so behave down there on the main floor.
So, I'm looking to see if I can get one of the papers from under the door, rather than pick the lock right now.
All right. Well, just wait for a hot moment. So as you're heading upstairs, Rolly, there's a twisting, dimly lit hallway of this area. It's laid out even more eccentrically than the first floor, often rising and falling by a few steps for no apparent reason. And the doors are scattered, seemingly at random, with only a few windows to look out over the surrounding streets and buildings. So she guides you up and she heads along this way, and you'll be going over a few steps here or there. She goes, "Would you like to see the Mountain King's room?"
I would like to see the area above the halfling woman's room.
Oh, yes, well, this is here. And she'll, go down a few steps and end up opening a door, and you can peek inside at this room. You'll ask, again respectfully, if you were to not go inside because a guest is staying there. Present currently. A look inside. A darkened bedroom that has been decorated to resemble a natural cavern with grey stone walls made of plaster and a simple stone ledge supporting the mattress. A single unlit gas lamp protrudes from the wall over a built-in stone chest of drawers and alcove to the east, and gem-coloured pieces of glass sparkle from the carving of a mountain bearing it down to the north.
I notice anything with that's odd.
Nothing in particular stands out of the ordinary. It seems a lovely room. Although obviously quite dwarven theme.
Gotcha. I don't notice anything in the hallway, do I?
You would realize this door up here is locked. And that is about it.
This... shoot, I forgot how to do the hand thing. Is it right click? Or
Hold X.
X, gotcha. This door right here.
Yes.
What's in that room?
More guests, I believe. That's the Assyrian suite. It's very nice. Hieroglyphs and large windows and few statues and the like. Some sarcophagus for fun. It's a...
May I see it, please?
Yes, of course. And she'll head down and she'll knock upon the door, and wait 30 seconds, then knock again before opening it up and peeking inside and looking into it. The walls of this suite appear to be cut from enormous stone blocks and engraved with hieroglyphs, and 2 large windows to the southern wall overlook the lower roof and street outside. In the western corner of the room is an oversized bed, frame carved to resemble a stone sarcophagus, but containing an ordinary mattress. A huge stone lid is suspended above it from ceiling by chains, and you can also see a fireplace with a stone fire mantle flanked on either side by 2 life-size humanoid statues, one jackal-headed, the other a falcon's visage. And then there's a corner of which you cannot see past.
Is someone renting this?
Yes, all the rooms are currently booked.
Do I notice anything with that, Todd?
You would know that at least one of the rooms isn't booked.
You notice, not specifically anything about the room that's odd, but you spot a weird hand gesture from Ralso as she's flicking one of her fingers out for some reason.
I go, what was that?
Oh, just got a tick.
Is it? I'd like to sense motive. What ability is that, or skill?
Perception.
It's a perception. Okay. Oh, that's. Sorry.
She seems honest with. And what are my intrepid troublemakers doing upon the first floor?
I'm looking to see if I can get some of the paper out from under the door, since she said she's been passing it under the door.
Okay, so as you're trying to get anything from under the door, you get nothing. There is nothing under the door.
Okay, so can I try and pick the lock?
Yeah, sure. Give me a thievery roll. Let me what the DC is. I'll just have a quick look for that.
I'm going to cast Pest Form.
So is that one? Unfortunately, a 12 would not be enough to unlock the door. But
can I use a hero point to reroll?
Yeah, you can use a hero point.
The way locks work is usually you have to get several successes in a row. And that should not be a critical failure, so just make a couple of more rolls, essentially.
Okay.
Or rather, I forget if they have to be in a roll or not. Let me check that.
Sorry, so you cast Pest Form, Lyra.
Mm-hmm. I sent you the token. I forgot to send you it earlier.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll just assume you're a pest for now.
Alright. As veterinary, you would just see, with a slow wave of the hand and then a click of the finger, Larry would just do a quick, subtle flash of lightning and then just shrink down into a red-haired stoat. And you said there was little ways through the door, because it showed three other vines.
Sorry, which door?
These doors here. You said you could see through
You'd
them.
be able to get through it.
Yeah, I just shuffle through.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna pretty much just go for a wander and explore a bit.
Okay. Zalix, you can give me another thievery roll if you want. Yeah, you're having no luck with this door. It's a fair bit more of a struggle for you to get unlocked than you initially thought it would be. And the other two, Arena and Asbed, what are you up to?
I'm keeping an eye out the front door just to make sure that no one's coming in there, and I'm leaning, especially on the right door, just to potentially cause a small ruckus or something if it does get opened, and then I'd like fall behind and things, and give hopefully Zalix enough time to recover there.
Okay. All good.
And I'm on the wall near Lyra. No, wait, sorry, near Aspet.
Nice. So back upstairs, Rolso would close the door eventually and give Rivola a big smile. Anything else I can help you with?
Sorry, my mic was muted. The other side of this building, what rooms are available over there? Or
None
occupied,
currently.
rather.
They're all occupied, yes.
May we see if any of the guests are home?
No, not really. I think I've been quite accommodating enough by this point, and without a warrant, I can't really let you go stomping around disrupting our business.
All right, what are my options here?
Bless you.
Thank you. Kiki, can I use prestidigitation to slowly lift the handles of these doors here to try and open them?
Can you cast whilst in pest form?
There's nothing saying I can't.
Would being in pest form stop you from being able to use material or somatic
Verbal components?
Yeah, or verbal.
I mean, I could still use somatic and verbal, and that's all it takes.
Can you talk as a scout?
Can make noises.
Okay. But can you communicate? There's a difference between, I think, going squeak 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 and going Shafani.
It does not state one way or the other. You say it says you transform into a battle form of a tiny animal, such as etc. You decide on the specific type of animal, but this has no effect on the size or statistics. While in this form, you gain the animal trait. You can dismiss the spell, which I'll check what
okay,
sort of
it
thing
should
that has.
note. It should note none of these say you replace your statistics. You simply gain things. So I'd assume it's safe to say that you retain all your previous stuff, unless there is something you gain instead. At least that's how I see it, or I read it. No, then again, it does have the polymorph trait, which I think might.
I'm reading up the polymorph trait right now, and I'm not seeing anything there that inhibits that. Let me try and find where dismiss is. Dismiss has the concentrate trait, but not verbal or somatic, so that doesn't give us an indication there. Let me check the
okay.
But otherwise, it's probably up to you.
Unless otherwise noted, the battle form prevents you from casting spells, speaking, and using most manipulate. Okay, never mind, I can't do that.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna have to wander around on foot then, rather than opening any of the doors. That's fine.
Just squeak at doors and hope someone opens them. Adopts you.
I was hoping, like, maybe I could fit under the door with a bit of a squeeze, but I'm assuming these are probably very tight with being a very expensive establishment.
Yeah, they're probably like 2-3 millimeters of gap.
Yeah. This isn't like some cheap place where there's a big gap under the door.
Right, Rivalon. You would be looking towards guiding you back downstairs now.
Can I stall her somehow? I don't have an RP to do with it, but can I make a check or something?
How would you be wanting to stall her?
Just with like little innocuous questions.
Yeah, you can ask questions as you go.
As
Make
we.
me a society roll or something, and
All right. Keep doing that.
she is somewhat stalled. And what are the others doing during stall time?
I don't know. I was
try
hoping
for
that
the
Alex
door
might
one
continue
last time.
working on the.
Okay, give me 2 more thievery rolls, and I'm going to assume the stout is going upstairs.
Dude,
That's what I said.
I'll have you know.
There we go.
Each thievery check takes 4 seconds to do.
I stalled her that long.
They only take 4 seconds?
It's 2 actions. Pick a lock is a 2-action activity.
Huh.
And it's not even successive. It's not even multiple successive successes. You just need
Yeah, it
to
just needs to be
succeed
2
X
total.
times
Alright, give me like 5
without
more
getting any
rolls.
critical successes.
And as long as you don't crit fail and get another one that's reasonably respectful. And with that, you would unlock the door.
So I would open it and
Okay. So within this room is a small coat room lined with shelves and cluttered with baggage, piles of linen and wooden rack holding
Damn
a
it.
small collection of liquor and wine bottles and more miscellany.
is there any paperwork I can see anywhere?
Let's see. No paperwork really anywhere.
Okay. You said it's a coat room?
Yeah.
The door. It was a coat room. No paperwork.
I've been hoping that might have. I suppose the office is then on the 2nd or 3rd floor.
Yeah.
And I will assume by that time, Rolso and Rivelaw will return. I need to pull Rivelaw back to the scene. And Rolso will head down the stairs, open up the doors, indicate quite politely for Rivelaw to head through. It's very unfortunate, all this stuff about missing people that you're coming here with, but, unfortunately it is a hotel, people come and go quite a lot.
Yes. If or hopefully when Mr. Pratchett does return, could you just inform him that, if possible, we would appreciate if he dropped by the precinct. We'd just like to speak with him. Hopefully the matter will be solved by then, of course, but, just in case.
Excuse me, Ralso. When did Mr. Pratchett depart on his voyage?
Oh, a week ago, I think. Not long after he took the hit, 2 days maybe? Sometime around then.
But our friend down the hall said that she saw him a couple of nights past in the dining hall.
Oh, she's a bit dotty if you hadn't noticed. Confuses
Do you
all sorts
remember
of
the-
half-elven men for him.
Do you remember the berth that perhaps he took?
No, I just work here, I don't... Where's your companion?
Does she
He has to
want?
head out for a bit. There's another small matter that we have here in the area, and they decided to drop by and do that while we were finishing up here.
He looked ever so slightly incredulous, but eventually not. Alright.
Speaking of which, I'm going to finish off scouting out and just making a sort of layout of the building in my head, and then head back downstairs and ideally just dash straight through the door,
I think
like
you need to
with
say
the hole in it.
doubting it.
Gonna ignore that one. And
Worse
I'm
than all
going,
of us combined.
and with quick motion, I'm going to dash over to Asbet and like wrap around the trouser leg, like hide.
What the hell's? What sort of critters do you...
fire! I follow.
But
Well, when
can I
he
try and grab?
Go ahead, Kiki.
When he returns, I'll let him know that fine agents of the local precinct came by for him, and he'll probably be able to give you a bit more information than I had.
Thank you. We'll be out of your hair then.
He smiles and nods her head a few times. As you start to leave, she does have a bit of a frown on her face. Closes up the doors and heads back behind her counter.
Alright, before we head away, I'd like to head back once more to the windows of the dining hall and try to investigate as closely as possible. I'd grab Rivalor along with me because he has better eyes for this, and see if there's if it looks like it's been used recently, because if most of these rooms are taken as she claimed, or I think at least claimed to Rivalor, which I assume he'd probably inform us what
I would
was
communicate
shared.
that with the rest of the gang.
Yeah, then the dining
And
room should be
I think
fairly
she
well
was-
used.
Okay. So where are we headed? Where are we headed again? The dining room, which
Was
Once we're
around-
outside, I dismiss my best form.
and I assume we're walking as casually as possible before we, turn the corner and
Yeah.
do some Metal Gear Solid stuff.
Yeah, so having a look inside, it's a magnificent dining hall boasting huge glass windows along its curved wall that looks out at the cobblestone street that you are standing upon. Inside is a wagon wheel chandelier attached to the ceiling, 2 long wooden tables with benches on either side at the western space, and a large round table surrounded by chairs occupying the center part of the room. The room looks clean, as you would expect everything to do in a upper class establishment. It's roll perception, I guess, to tell how well used.
It's public again. Sorry. Jesus, I cannot do this.
You would note, based on some scuff marks near the floor, near where the chairs are, maybe an odd crumb of food here and there that's been missed during cleaning, the room gets used. It's not a completely unused establishment.
All right then. So there are discrepancies that we can possibly cite to get a warrant for.
We can also go down to the docks if we really want to and check and see if Mr. Hendred Pratt a week ago out of there. And if not, then we can always say that.
Given the hundreds of ships coming and going, it would take you a fair time to look through dock log.
if it's not outright impossible, because some ships are just privately owned. They wouldn't just, I imagine, would not register every single passenger coming in and out with the harbor master, because the harbor masters couldn't hold that much data in the first place.
Wouldn't they have to know it in case anybody went missing at sea?
Why do you think people do go missing at sea?
Because the sea is a fickle mistress.
Yes, it is.
Just be dragging people to the bottom.
There's a reason Forgotten Realms goddess of the sea is the Bitch Queen.
The moment the ship is out of the dock, it's not their problem.
Has anyone worked at the docks in their background or from the puddles? Yeah, you would be aware that the concept of keeping a log of everyone coming and going from the city has been discussed, but the sheer quantity of paperwork beyond what the city would be able to afford, because hundreds of ships come and go a day with supplies, tourists, adventurers, privately owned, publicly owned,
I'd probably
goods.
also know that the docks guard is easily corruptible.
Oh yes,
And would very, like, if someone just so much as were like, we're gonna give you like 5 gold to not put this one down, they wouldn't put it down.
Why would he do that if
like
he's
5
just going
copper.
back to wherever he's supposed to be going back to? According to her story, is what I'm saying. Why would he be hiding anything if he's just going home for however long?
Regardless, the point stands there isn't a log, so...
I say, let's go back, let's get a warrant, come back, and turn the place upside down.
But how are we going to get a warrant? What are we getting a warrant on?
Do warrants exist in Absalom?
Yeah, I'm still fuzzy on this.
For the sake
Like,
of
out
it,
of
you
character.
can't just overturn a private business, like, on whim. You would need to contact a magistrate to get the option to go in and look over everything, at which case you would present them with, here's all the evidence we have, and they would go, okay, here is your thing to go and essentially upturn the place and look at everything.
I want to also ask...
The high society?
Pardon?
That would probably just be society side. Instead of going through all of that, I think it would probably be easiest to, rather than try to figure out how exactly that's to run, just to make a society roll to get our hands on a magistrate and give them the information.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to speak to the sergeant and present him with everything, he could then go to a magistrate as well. But
How
as
would we know
get-
how long that would take?
it would probably take half a week to a week, and you'd be aware
Good
that
lord.
given Pratchett's wealth and the fact that he can own a hotel this size, it might take longer. If you were dealing with someone who owned, like, you know, a 50 pence shop on the side of the street, oh yeah, just go tip it up. But dealing with a well-to-do establishment would take a while and a bit more influence.
Just break in tonight?
It's kind of what I'm feeling, but doesn't seem very guard-like.
Well, being guards is not only taking the stone so far.
She
So-
did offer you guys to stay in the very fancy room for a night.
Oh, fuck's sake.
This is true for 10 goddamn gold.
Oh no, she did say she would, like, waive the cost. Because it was you
Compass.
guys. Yeah.
Oh, did she?
Mm-hmm.
Is there enough room for all of us in there, though?
Likely
think
not
she
all
does.
of you.
I think she also said this. What was this before or after Rivalor tried intimidating her?
Or
Yeah, it was before.
Before, I'm pretty
So the
sure.
question is, does this still stand after the intimidation attempt?
Maybe not for Rivalor. Possibly for
I was... I don't know.
Considering that's a double bed and a sofa, we would probably only get two of us in there and maybe a third if we really wish to push it, but that's it. Then I've had the other three wait outside, peering into the window while sitting in the...
Shaking in the cold. It's like...
So they gave us a description of the gentleman who was staying in there.
In the seafarer's cabin. That's not its name, that's just what I'm referring to it as.
Yeah. He had red hair and green eyes, and was about 5'8".
Young
roughly.
man, well-to-do.
Did any of you happen to know the descriptions of our missing people?
Didn't ring a bell.
Was that the young man maybe that your friend at the club saw go in? Who didn't come back out?
The curio shop owner from the one-shot has red hair.
He was still alive, though, wasn't
From
he?
the side quest thing. I'm pretty sure, yes.
And owned a shop
Jared?
elsewhere in the city, yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't
The
missing.
only one I have a description of was Caminella's. And
What
there's
is-
an who is tall, dark-skinned, and particularly busty.
And there's no one on the list by the name of Jennifer Alphen. That was the person who was staying in the room before that she said.
Not on my list, and I'm pretty sure that's not on Minkayan.
I would assume not. Not by that name.
I think
could-
what might be an idea is we decide on a few people or all of us if we can convince Rolso to let us to stay at the hotel, and then ideally when it gets late and all the residents have come back when it's getting dark and have gone to the cafeteria, which we're currently perving through the windows on, that would be the perfect place to sit down and chat with them. That being said, if we did make it to that point, using the line, "I'm a guard, you have to tell us what we want to know," is not the approach.
No. If not all of us can stay there, if it is only two, probably, who of us should?
This is a little meta.
Revelor should probably stay.
Seeing as Arena is a sorcerer, I'm assuming she probably has high charisma.
I do.
Probably a good option.
And
I also have a
Asbit,
+4 charisma.
just say probably you. Or I should stay. Either one of us. Just as a bit of muscle in case, you know.
I think everyone aside from Arena, like me and Rivalor included, have muscle. Like pretty much the entire party has.
I mean, Rivalor has the wits to like search rooms for stuff, and Arena with her charisma maybe could chat up some people.
I think the issue with Rivalor though is he's obviously not in Rolso's good books right now. So that might be a hard chip to play.
It's probably the one we
could.
want there.
First, we have a couple of hours before we'll want to do that anyway. There's not a whole lot of point, I think, in trying to rent the room before mid-afternoon or at some point. So we have a good 4 or 5 hours to just inspect, possibly even just ask people on the streets, maybe not in our uniforms, try and just gather some information, see if there's any other rumors of missing people, whereabouts they might have been staying or coming from, just seeing if we can't tack anything else to this place here. And then potentially Rivalor and I could attempt to stay the night to maybe get a drink or two into Rivalor so he's not or visibly doesn't have quite so much of his own agency, and I drag him in there as pretending to make use of the situation, I suppose.
Is there a bar close by here?
Yeah,
There
there's
should be
bars
plenty
pretty
of
much
bars
everywhere,
close
yeah.
by.
Wouldn't that interfere with my ability to actually like notice things, though?
Maybe only one drink and you play it up.
Maybe.
You spill the liquor on yourself, make it something really ridiculously strong, and then really sell it.
If you only have a tiny bit of alcohol, it just gives you benefits, no downsides. It's only when you have a bit too much that it starts to hamper you.
Well, I mean, we could. I don't know. In theory,
I feel like at the very least we should go back to the precinct and get some less conspicuous clothing, because it's going to be very difficult to convince people in the cafeteria to speak to us if we're loaded up on breastplates, Edgewatch uniform.
I think we should also at least try to get a warrant while we're at it. It might take half a week or a week, but we may as well put in the show of going to that length.
what ground do we have for a warrant?
That there's a number of fishy things about here. Didn't you literally just say a few minutes ago that we have reason to put in a warrant?
What is it that's suspicious? Just so I'm on the same page here, because right now it seems very
I don't know.
standard to me.
Nothing here screams suspicion. The only thing that's suspicious is the fact that that lady said that she saw Mr. Pratchett in the dining hall 2 days ago, and also said he's gone since a week ago.
Perhaps we have reason to believe that at least one of the missing people went missing here at this location, and although we attempted to speak with the owners, our only the basics of attempting to deal with us were made. There is some reason to believe, perhaps allowed. Yes, there's some reason to believe, perhaps, that they are attempting to impede this investigation.
Well, we don't have a name for anyone who we know for sure possibly went missing here. We know that a gentleman with green eyes and red hair was here, that he's supposed to be staying in that room at the end of the hall, but we don't know his name. We don't know if he's for sure missing. We don't know if that's the same guy that your friend from the bar or the club said went in and didn't come out. So we don't really have anything to go on as far as this is suspicious. This is probably where people went missing at, because we don't even know if any of these people legitimately stayed here, because she won't even let us look at.
All right, never mind. No warrant. Just let's go back, get some inconspicuous clothes, and see what we can find.
So you're heading back to the HQ then. Shall I update you on that then?
Yep.
Once returned, you guys can garb yourselves as you wish. Are you going for a warrant?
I don't think so. Like, we could lie and say that we've heard, or attached to one of the names of the missing, like Elama or Lirma, but I'm not sure we necessarily want to do that. And Asbeth is attempting, at least, to be lawful most of the time, some of the time.
For better or for worse, Lyra would probably stop any attempt to falsify the official documents. because I'm also trying to be lawful.
I would, if Skinny were here, Asbet would like to go and consult with her if she had any just advice on a situation like this, how to possibly get more information out of this or get a way in to investigate the place, what sort of things she might do.
She would advise what she would do is try to rent a room to stay the night. She would attempt to question most of the guests, which you guys have come to on your own. Her second step would be to scale the building and have a look at it from various places through the windows. She would also conduct a stakeout where she watches from outside for a few days just to see who comes, who goes, what the general situation is, if anything seems out of the ordinary with the number of people clocking in or clocking out based on the fact that she spent the night, and would have got a rough count on how many rooms there are.
That is a very good idea, actually. Especially seeing as it might be easier for us to just get 1 or 2 people in the room. The rest could stake it out outside.
Yeah, it is.
I'll
Consider that.
do
I just didn't think
stakeout
we had
and-
multiple days.
Yeah. If we had the time to stake it out, I think that's probably the best bet. We have the people who are good at, Zalix is probably a really good bet for staking it out, seeing as she has dark vision.
Right. So yeah, once maybe in like 4 hours, starting mid-afternoon, once Rivler and I go to grab those rooms or put in our names for them later on, then the rest stake out the place.
Is Arena not going to be going in?
Or potentially.
I mean,
Should it be
again,
Arena and Rivler then?
a little bit meta here, but going purely off stats, Arena was probably have the highest chance of being able to convince people. A little meta, but
I have a +9 in diplomacy.
I would prefer to stake out.
Yeah, but your
Partly
spot
because I just need a break.
Arena and Asbet then, perhaps? Let's go for 2 diplomatic people who are also neither in bad standing.
Works for me.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I would suggest. Looking through the
can probably
books would be
skip
one of
the-
her other suggestions, but you can do that. No, I don't think she'd have many other suggestions. That would be her first port of call before she gets more intel, and she'd go based on that.
All right. I'll certainly thank her for her time and her expertise, and then go and dress up with the rest. I'm keeping my armor on this time, though.
I want to sort of check in with Corporal Batista.
Okay.
I just wanted to know, if maybe she had heard of Jennifer Elfin, and maybe if she knew of any more people that might have gone missing.
Jennifer Elfin doesn't ring a bell, actually. Not any idea about that. More missing people. There's a cluster here or there, but we gave you most of the list, and we got some other people working on some of the other names. But no, Jennifer doesn't ring a bell.
All right.
Sorry about that, Zalix. I take it's in relation to your Minkind case.
We're thinking that they're all connected and that possibly all of these people stayed at this hotel and never came out. we have a tip from, I guess it's a less than reputable source, but she said that a mark of hers went into the building and never came out again. So she wasn't able to hit him. And the owner procured an ogre jelly from a dwarven fellow who was also in that underground speakeasy.
Could be the Mark knew he was being followed and marked and decided to evade the person going after them. It's not unheard of.
That's very true.
But an ochre jelly, that's a bizarre thing.
Yeah, they said that they wanted it for a garbage disposal system. And I could see that as far as cleaning wise, but it also would probably get rid of a fair few bodies if you had them lying around.
Yes. Bit of a jump, I suppose. But
It's all just circumstantial, and I was hoping that maybe, because we know that this Jennifer woman stayed there, according to the front desk woman, but I don't know of anyone who actually stayed there that went missing for sure, because we don't have any actual information. She wouldn't give us like their guest lists, and she wouldn't let us take a look around his office, and she said that the proprietor's gone. So
all adds up a bit, doesn't it?
yeah.
Well, if we have enough circumstantial evidence, it starts not being circumstantial. What's your plan going forward, as Alex?
I think we're just going to stake it out, have a few of our agents go in and stay the night, see if they can talk to some of the guests at dinner time.
Sounds like a fine idea. Get everything you can, and sure the sergeant will assist you if you need anything further.
I figured he would. I just thought I might ask about the woman that we knew for sure stayed there.
If anything comes in, you'll be the first to know.
Thanks, Corporal.
You're welcome, Alex. Good to see you're keeping on the case. So, I will assume you guys are heading back mid-afternoon to have some people sneak inside via the process of asking politely, and the others will be staking out.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, whom is where for me?
I think I'm going to be staking out, or at least I think that's what everybody said.
Okay, so those that are staking out, just pop yourselves down by the this thing.
I'm gonna put myself in the middle because I'll go whichever side wants additional help.
You should probably go with them. Just because, in case anything goes sideways, we want as many people together as possible.
Fair enough.
And I don't think we're
The
going to
three
be.
of us, then. This should be an interesting night.
I don't think we're going to be fighting anyone outside the doors. We're just here to watch and see who comes and goes.
Right. So, let me just check something.
The magic squad is in the inside. All three of the casters.
Well, and if you do find the whatchamacallit, if you can find his office, maybe you could bug for him under the door.
I can't book form again today. But seeing as I'm staying the night, I would be able to do tomorrow morning.
Okay, could I get private perception, sneaky DM only perception rolls from Zalix and Rivalor?
Sure.
Thank you.
click on the eyeball, the one that's crossed out.
I think so, yeah. Okay. At the hotel, you don't notice anything at first. Everything seems more or less fine, standard, as you'd expect. I assume you're mostly observing various windows about the place, keeping an eye on the first, second, and towery floor.
And obviously listening for any screaming.
Yes, that one as well. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. My 3 that are heading inside. Do you want to do thus?
Before we do so, I had been anticipating us going in at maybe like 3 in the afternoon, which would give us 4 hours, more or less.
Sorry,
So
I forgot to update the clock to mid-late afternoon.
In a time that we're doing that, could we, or at the very least Asbet, but potentially Arena as well, attempt to gather information, possibly 2 roles, one for each of the 2 hours that we might spend in the region here, asking about rumors of missing people, where those might be centered around,
are
what's
you
implicated.
Trained or experts?
I am trained in diplomacy.
Okay. Nice. Give me some roles. Is it just for you, or is it for multiple people doing this?
I think each individual person does it.
Okay. Gonna be a lot of fucking rolls. Okay. Make me your first set of rolls.
Oh, sorry. I just made 2 right up.
Okay, everyone make me your first roll for gathering information. No one else? Oh, there we go. So, Arena, you are aware that the Dreaming Palace was, or you would find out rumors that it was built somewhat inefficiently based on some rumors that had gone around based on people who had built it and stuff like that. There'd been multiple building crews come in, like some were getting fired and they bring a new one in, and it was all at the whims and designs of what some state as just being a madman trying to put the place together with no clue how to properly manage a business. And despite how fantastic it looks, it's an incredibly inefficient hotel because of it.
Okay.
And
Strange peculiar layout upstairs.
I'll take a second roll from you guys who are attempting to gather information.
Should I make that 2, or would you use the second of the initial ones that I used?
You can make me a second one. I'll be generous.
Alright.
Ooh. So, Arena, during your second lot of poppering around and trying to get information, you would be aware that... Where is that? Oh. God, where is it? There is some rumors of a lot of shipments going towards the Dreaming Palace, mostly late at night, boxes with strange labels on them and the like, but nothing too out of the ordinary. It's almost expected that a well-to-do place would be collecting drugs and the sorts for their patrons to have a good time.
Shipments going out.
There are many shipments going out, and
So they're not shipping bodies.
no. Ooh. All right, I think my music bot had like played through and decided, screw you, I'm going to forget. There we go. Let me pop that back on. And the last clue that you guys would get is, sorry, they're like close plastered all over the place. There's a faint rumor that someone was attacked by a statue, but managed to get back out, which is something that Asbet would have gotten a hold of. And for some reason, people I think the hotel has some pretty good security. I don't think it's part of any nefarious plot or the like. It's just, a well-secured establishment for the upper class. So obviously it should have defenses built into it. And I believe that would be your 4 hours of garnering information, chatting with the locals, and coming up with bits and pieces here and there.
Sounds about right. We should definitely be careful then.
Did you guys get any names? Or did they get any names while they were there?
And no names in particular. I guess it was mostly just information about the actual hotel. If you were asking about an what was it, Jennifer, sorry?
No, I meant like the who was giving them the information. Did they get names from the patrons?
Sorry, what do you mean, Pete?
Because they were asking people at the who were staying there, obviously, because they ate there.
No, I don't think they've just been asking around town and stuff. They've not actually gone in and asked people inside anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
This was like
beside
before you guys are heading in.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I assume at this point you're now heading to go and try and secure the rooms for the night?
Yep.
So, head round to the front door at your leisure. I've got all my notes up and proper.
And saucily stroll into the place once more.
Excellent. So Ralso gives you a look over, a faint look of annoyance on her face before it vanishes into a big smile, and she goes, how can I help?
No business this time, thankfully. Day is over, and we were hoping to relax a bit to the room, and I point at the one on the other side of the fireplace. Seemed quite interesting. We were hoping that we might be able to take it for the night.
Oh. He's paused. He's thinking. He's looking at the three of you. It's that two-person bed? Are you three going to be, He waggles her eyebrows.
I believe there was a sofa, wasn't there?
Yes. We don't normally have guests staying on sofas. I don't suppose I'll object.
I'm quite a night owl. I tap the spellbook at my hip.
Of course. Okay, very well. Let's, Well, I've already shown you around the room, haven't I? Would you just fancy the key and you can pop on in? Dinner's served at about 7, and we have a breakfast at 8. We don't really do lunches. Most of the time people aren't really here for them as they head around town and enjoy themselves.
There's plenty of food stalls out and about. I quite agree. That sounds lovely. Oh.
Excellent. Well, do enjoy yourselves. And she rummages around behind the desk, pulls out a key for Asbet, and bows her head with a smile, and then pops back behind the desk.
All right. 7, you said it was for dinner?
Yeah, so 3 hours from now, I'll probably lock up the main doors and start preparing for that soon. If you do need to be let out during the night, just come knock on my room. It's the 2nd floor at the end. Oh, it's the tower. You know how it is. You've probably seen the outside as you've walked around the building 10 times by now, and you'll be able to find it.
Just admiring it. The combination melding this building with the old foundation is fascinating.
Cost
Something that I
efficient.
haven't seen nearly enough here. That it is, yes. It's plenty sturdy stone out there. But I suppose we'll see you then.
She smiles and nods again and heads over to close the doors. And what is your guys' plans for the next 2 hours, 40 so minutes?
Are there other guests mingling out in the
That is a
halls
good
at all?
question.
There's no one really mingling in the halls themselves. They just seem the same as they were before.
Is there a gathering room
We
besides the
do
front?
have a window that...
Sorry, you both started something.
you
Lemon?
go.
Is there a gathering room besides the front?
If you're going to ask her, she'd give you some more information on a gathering room if you'd like.
Sure.
Excellent. I'm gonna have to speed run through the book back to that. Yeah. Room number. That one. She will happily guide you along the hallway, along here, and to the end, where she will open a doorway, and within it you will find a large stone fireplace taking up the northeastern corner of this comfortable reading room. Bookshelves line the walls and overstuffed armchairs dot the floor in small knots to facilitate conversation. To the southwestern corner is a small bar with racks of glassware.
Is there anyone in here at all? I mean,
No, there's no one in there currently.
Okay.
Sometimes we will host a small event in there, bring a few wine bottles out and the like to show off, and people can have a nice evening, few card games, those sorts of things, maybe a tournament of chess, but it's mostly just a nice room in general.
Is it open anytime that we would
Oh
like
yes,
to go in?
open any time. We don't keep any liquor there though. We've learned that it's best not to let guests serve themselves, and she has a wry smile.
I thank you for your time.
Of course, any time, and she'll bow her head again and head back to the main desk area. So, what is your plan? Is it to just time skip to 7 when people are eating their supper and the like, or...?
I'd also be watching the entrance as somewhat I can from this position here. It is possible to look out this window just at the front entrance after all, so I'd also,
Yeah.
if possible, keep watch along with that.
Excellent. So, those whom are outside, could you give me new perception rolls?
Hidden one still.
Yes, please. So, as time starts to pass, each of you begin to notice something. Let me try and think of the best way to describe it. As you're watching various windows, such as this one here, the one with the nautical theme, the upstairs ones that have the sarcophagi and those sorts of themes, you begin to notice that they're wrong. And it doesn't immediately leap out to you what it is, but some more time observing them, and as time passes, it slowly settles in your mind that the rooms almost seem to be on a loop. The windows curtain will always flutter roughly every 50-60 seconds. A fly will move past one of the windows on an almost scheduled basis in the exact same pattern. It's uncanny how much it seems to just consistently happen on repeat. And as you look from one window to another, you begin to realize that the windows may not actually be showing the rooms, but instead an illusion of what they want to be presenting the rooms as.
Gotcha. And what about the windows to the room that our friends are supposed to be staying in? Are they openable from the inside? Could we potentially...
Windows are painted, I believe is the term. They're like sealed shut so that you can't head in or out of them. But you would be able to see them pottering about, doing stuff, being their usual self.
So before, I would go to the window and kind of knock on their window and like wave someone outside. Anyone? Just to give them the information, just anybody.
As I'm at the window, I suppose I'd be the one who'd most easily notice this, so I'd head out and...
As you're heading out, you would notice that Ralso isn't there and the front door would be locked. I'll just update that.
Oh, it's 7 o'clock already. Whoops.
Alright, yeah, the timer moves too fast. I don't know how to rewind time.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's why I never run it on automatic, because it goes way so fast.
Let me pull time back a bit. Is that? Let's do the time warp again. Oh wait, it didn't rewind time.
I think you can just say that it's like an hour earlier.
Yeah, it's an hour earlier. There you go, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suppose I'd probably try and communicate through one of these windows with Zelix.
Are they closed as well?
The windows are closed. You guys would see Ralso pottering back and forth between one of the rooms, the main dining area.
I'll
carrying
point back
trays
in the
dishes
direction.
And food.
Yeah. I'll point back in the direction of our room and the window and like mime writing on something and then putting my hand with the writing stuff against the window, and I'll head back to our room.
So I ask Rivalor, since I think he has a writing
I do have a writing set.
to write down the fact that the rooms are on a visual time loop, but only it seems like the themed rooms. Like seeing their windows as like seeing an illusion.
And that's why this one isn't taking that much time.
It's the same scene over and over and over again. Just make sure you write all that down so that they know that that's what's going on with those rooms.
That's what I write down,
Excellent.
and I hand it to Zelix.
And I would go back to the window and put it up against the window for Asbeth to see.
Yeah, I assume you guys easily communicate that message across.
Ah. That might be part of the security. I can see some use for that in a place that values discretion, but that does seem still unnerving.
And then I shrug my shoulders. I don't know if we can hear each other through these windows or not.
If you yell, you can barely make each other out. You'd have to be really loud to hear the faintest of noise.
So.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
So I just kind of wave at the note and like just give you the okay sign, and then like raise my hand see if like you get what I'm trying to say.
I'll give her a thumbs up because I don't think that changes too much about us, at least.
Well, and then I would write down. Then I would write down maybe those would be rooms worth looking into, and put it back up so she can see.
I'll nod.
And I nod back and then head back to like making sure that everything stays the way that it is outside, I guess.
Yeah, observing as you go. Nice. So food time arrives. You can smell food throughout the building. It's pretty frickin' good food. Like, it's nothing to be squashed at. It is, after all, an upper-class establishment, and the food is to match the overly fancy state of affairs that is the rest of the hotel. That's the word I was looking for. That's the wrong word to forget. So, what is your group up to? Are you heading to join? Are you sneaking around? What's the plan?
Well, those of us in the room, I think, just head towards dinner.
Yeah. You guys should know where it is based on your snooping.
I'll quickly just note my food's just arrived, so I'm going to be a little bit quiet.
That's okay, everyone's getting their snack on. As you head towards the room, you see the lovely old Mrs. Honeywell having a rather engaged chat with Henrid Pratchett. You see a dwarven family sat about enjoying a meal, and tucked in a corner, far more interested in eating each other's faces, is what seems to be a happy honeymooning couple. Apart from that, there's a cluster of people around the room who are enjoying their meals and chatting with one another, and everything's very calming and relaxed. Rolso is attending, bringing out fresh meals for people. It looks like on the menu tonight is dag, specially embroiled with a rich sauce, some roast potatoes, layers of vegetables. Everything looks divine. There's fresh wine poured for everyone, and Henrid is going all about his best, entertaining his guests, and upon seeing you enter, goes, "Ah! The agents themselves who came by to protect me, or, well, it seems one of you is. New companions of yours, was it? A lovely, blonde, golden-haired goddess of heroism who saved me?"
Yes, the others unfortunately had other matters. How are you? We'd heard that you'd been somewhat wounded, that you were off recuperating.
Oh, yes, back in the city
It's
this
good to see
afternoon.
that you seem in good health.
Yes, I popped back in this afternoon with bright eyes and all that. I got a quick teleportation back. I received a message from Rolso that there might be something amiss with the palace, and this is my crowning accomplishment. I had to make sure it was fine, obviously.
Well, it's definitely good to see here, and I imagine if you could afford a teleportation, then you should have certainly seen to any medical needs that you might have had.
Yes, it was mostly just my mother. She worries about me. But how could I stay away from this gorgeous young lady? And he winks at Mrs. Honeywell, who blushes and laughs.
Is Henrik wearing a scarf?
No.
That's not important. Just remembering how she wanted to give him a scarf. Anyway.
Thought you were just gonna grab the scarf and start choking the poor bastard out.
No. Oh, good. I know I don't act like it, but
You monster! I know it's you.
No. Alex is outside.
There's a lot of people in here. Would Asbeth have seen anyone enter the place while peering through the window?
No one's really entered.
And Alex didn't see Hendred come in or out.
Nope.
He did say he teleported, so.
Though teleportation, I think, usually goes to teleportation circles, which are dedicated pieces of infrastructure rather than this. And
Yes,
the teleportation spells have a error on them.
I would say that those who are magically inclined could make me an Arcana roll to know that.
You're right. I'm sorry. I should not have just assumed those sorts of things.
I was going to ask for it anyway, but it's semi-common knowledge you can't just teleport exactly, but to know that you would need a set-up receiving portal would be what the Arcana checks for. So that would be from the Sorcerer and Lyra? Yeah, you would know the full details that you would need an established receiver to direct a teleportation spell to. Otherwise, there's a chance he'd have just landed somewhere in the city. And I will assume that you are still eating your supper, so we'll keep going on.
Yeah, during this, I just talk with Henrik most of the supper, just talking about his various guests. There's, after all, seems to be quite a few here. Asking of various interesting guests he's had, how much throughput he's had. Like, it seems to me that it must be that they have new guests every couple of days, and like leading on with a number of such sorts of things, trying to pump him for as much information about the place and its inhabitants as I could.
Yeah, he's incredibly forthcoming. He's happy to discuss things like, yes, not everyone here could be as long as Mrs. Honeywell. A few people drop by and they think they have the coin for one of the nicest places about, but before long they've had to shill off to somewhere cheaper for the rest of the festivities. So we have a few people come and go, and it's kept us relatively busy. It's quite nice though, having a few fresh people to talk to every night, and here and there we get a mayor or someone fanciful dropping by, and it's always nice to, rub elbows, and he gives you a bit of a laugh.
And this is Absalom. It is more expensive than a number of places out there. I can see very well indeed how that might come about.
Yes, quite so, especially with this being a festival. I've got this place up just in time to... the wealth.
You wouldn't happen to have anyone from up north recently? I've been trying to just get bits of information stories. My parents are from far up north, the lands of the Linorm Kings, and I've been just looking to chat with anyone that I can find of various old folk tales and things. You wouldn't have happened to had someone from up north recently, would you? I imagine you see all sorts after all.
Let me just check some information. Five Kings Mountains, aren't they?
That's like pretty southern.
My
north.
bad.
It's still north of Absalom.
Well, half of the world is north of Absalom. 2/3 of it, even.
That's how the North usually works. Yes, roughly half of the world, isn't it?
It's on the north half, you know.
The Five Kings Mountain is just north of Andoran. That is like a quarter of the distance, maybe a fifth of the distance from Absalom to the lands of the Lenorm Kings and Erison.
Okay.
It's northern, but it's not like that's like maybe like Germany, France levels of north, rather instead of Scandinavia.
I don't think we have anyone from that far north, but the lovely family over there, the dwarves. They're from the Five Kings Mountains, and he'll indicate towards. You can see the 2 dwarf tokens. I didn't get dwarf children tokens, but there will be 2 dwarf children with the mother. And they're more or less keeping to themselves, entertaining their kids, laughing, having a gay old time, and enjoying the meal. The father seems a bit gruff, and he looks over and is a bit curious why his family's being mentioned, but he goes back to his meal and smiling at his children.
And then otherwise, with those mission of those dwarves, I then lead into somewhat if any other dwarves have been staying here, trying to see if he mentions anything about Elama or anything that would indicate that they might have been here, and just going like bits of things leading on in ways that might hopefully get him to reveal that at least one of these from the list one of these groups might also have been here. So, for example, with these here, this family being, if it's common for entire families also to stay by, with their kids and those sorts of things.
We do have a family room. It's a bit smaller than some of the others. One of the more affordable ones, but people tend to need something a bit more affordable when they're trying for their family. We've got some clowns on the walls, actually. It's a lovely room. Dwarves, though, yeah. They pop by now and again. They usually like the Five Kings room. They think it's very nice, very empowering.
Understandable. Even dwarves from outside of the Five Kings, they're out after all.
I don't ask people's genealogy too much when they're coming in. I just show them the rooms and they'll take them.
That's an excellent point. Indeed, I should not assume such things. Though some people you can simply see on them that they are far more exotic and from far away.
Yes. You here on business then, Agent? You, wanting a bit more
no,
than you're leading
here.
into?
No, nothing of the sort. Simply
You've
making
asked quite a few
conversation. I'm
questions.
fascinating. Well,
You're
questions are a
fascinating,
way.
that is true.
It is, after all, conversation. The conversation is, after all, to get the other person to talk, isn't it? And the best way to do so is questions, inquiring about all sorts of things. My family themselves are merchants, and I do always love to see and hear various things of what other mercantile sorts get up to in their individual businesses.
He leans forward on the table, smiling at you in the most polite, nicest way possible, and says, "Then why are you wanting to look through my logbooks and take in my companion Rolso?"
That with Rolso was one of my compatriots, a bit hot-headed. As for the books, we have... Well, there's, as you can imagine with the festival, there's no end of cases. We were signed here, a few that seemed like they might have some lead here.
Oh, then of course, let's go look through my books whenever you'd like.
Oh.
And if it can be
Perhaps
of
not
any
right
assistance
now, not in the
to
middle
you,
of
yes.
dinner.
Naturally, quite so. I wouldn't want to deprive Mrs. Honeywell of my company. But yes, anytime you want to have a look through, it's perfectly alright with me. Anything to help the local law enforcement. Although maybe
in the morning,
not
perhaps?
here. Yeah, we could drop by the Tipsy Tango and you could have a look through and
That would
Enjoy
be
the
lovely.
night.
I don't wish. Yes, I thank you for the offer indeed. I just don't want to necessarily get work involved with free time, and I stretch and take another bite.
Quite so. He smiles and gives you a wink, then returns to having a happy conversation with Mrs. Honeywell and bouncing between topics and having a gay old time of it. And, meal goes on, time passes, eventually people start filtering out, heading back to their room, finding, enjoyment. The couple in the corner eventually drag one another back to the honeymoon suite, where they do whatever it is people in the honeymoon suite do that's not for mentioning in well-to-do company. The Dwarven family shake Mr. Pratchett's hand, thank him for a wonderful meal. They head back to their own room that's not even too far from where you currently are partaking in your meal, and Henrid will eventually excuse himself, thank also for a meal, and offer if anyone needs anything before he would make his way out.
I don't think so. I thank you for the conversation and the company tonight. And the food was excellent.
Yes, also is a fantastic chef. She's picked up a lot of... And he'll smile and peck Mrs. Honeywell on the cheek and head out and pop off towards the second floor, you believe. And Mrs. Honeywell will eventually excuse herself not long after, heading back to her own room with the shorter ceiling. And I assume your group will retire for the night as well, or...?
I believe so. Probably check by the common room, the one with the fireplace and the light, to see if nobody's hanging out there, but otherwise, I think head to the room.
Yeah, checking by the common room, you see the Dwarven children are dashing about, playing a game of musical chairs, their new favourite battle royale.
Are the Dwarven parents there too, or just the kids?
Just the kids.
I'll peek an eye in to make sure that they're fine, but otherwise leave them be.
Yeah, they stop mucking around with the chair when you enter and look at you a bit curiously, but
Well,
then return to
wave
their...
gladly. Yep. 1v1 musical chairs.
Can you imagine what a plot twist it would have been if the halfling lady made her way towards the Asmodeus room?
Oh boy.
Zero plot twist at all, because that's totally what I expect.
Did anyone? Well, we saw her in the room that she was in, this bar one. But did anyone head to the Asmodeus room?
No one headed that way, no.
Did you bother to get the names of anybody?
I was talking with Henrik practically the entire dinner here, so...
Anybody else get the names of, the honeymoon couple or the family of dwarves?
I was eating IRL.
I'm happy to say that you guys were, if you were, because obviously the whole time the others would have had the chance to chat. The honeymooners, they're not interested in talking to you. They're sucking face. If you tried to talk to them, the man would give you a bit of a dirty look before telling you to mind yourself. He sounds very northern now. Mind yourself.
Mind your own.
Of the other people there, the Dwarven family, you could get their name. They are... Oh Jesus, where's their name? The father is Seamus, and the mother is Rella, and they wouldn't be too keen on you if you were asked about their children. But through context of overhearing them chat, you'd work out they're called Beryl and Malachi. Malachi? Malky? Who even knows? Dwarven name. Locky, probably. Other than that, there is a cluster of other people with insert random. Oh, sorry, I misspoke. John, Jack, Jason, Jennifer, Jacqueline, Jobby.
I just was wondering if the honeymooning couple might not have been Knight and Minera.
Given they are both human, and
Okay.
they are from. But I had a note written down. Love no money.
It's fine. I know that Knight isn't a human; he's a halfling.
Oh, good grief! Where have I lost? Ah, there it is. They are Augustana. They're from Augustana. Which I assume doesn't mean much for most.
Nope.
Not really, no.
Wait, even you don't know where Augustana is?
I just found out the map. It's in Undoran to the west of Almas.
Yeah, so it's quite a way away.
But no, I don't know every place in Galarian. I'm not at that point yet.
Way away.
Right, but yes, they are from there. They're not local.
Gotcha.
During the night, what does your group get up to? Anything, or do you just have a lovely night in the hotel room?
Lomo went AFK. She.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't. See.
Yeah, she's off for a minute. I had to take a quick bio. Asbeth would like to sneak around, but she's also the least stealthy of everyone here.
Okay. Well, if
so
I
she
don't
isn't.
have anything for you guys to do during the night, we will have to advance to the next day.
You have to make any more checks? Is there any deliveries during the night that we would catch from the outside?
During the early morning, there would be deliveries getting dropped off. If you're staying up through the night, you would start to be exhausted come next day, but I assume you two could do a rotating shift or something up nearby. But you could avoid it by doing that. There'd be deliveries during the morning, crates, things like that. It's nothing that looks too untoward. You'd see bread being delivered, meat being delivered. There's one shady-looking person who delivers something. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Because it's in a steel crate with nothing wrote on it. Seems business as usual. So. And sometime
Nothing else happened during the night?
Nothing else during the night. The windows do continue to loop ongoing, and eventually of the morning, Ralso will unlock the doors, and set up behind the desk. The family of dwarves will pop out. About 8 or 9-ish. The children seem overly excited to be going to see the festivities. And not long after, breakfast would be served. Bacon, eggs, lovely stuff, lots of bread. Mostly using supplies that were fresh delivered that morning. Everything is on pristine game-wise for the food. And eventually, Rauso would be inquiring when you're looking to check out of the room.
Are all the guests eating breakfast at the same time, or is anyone missing?
They're filtering in or out. Everyone who was there the previous night you will see, apart from Henrid and the Dwarven family.
But the kids running around, right?
The Dwarven family left with the kid.
Oh, so I would have seen them leave, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a lightly overcast
probably
day,
after-
a few drizzles here and there. Nice day.
I think we probably then grab breakfast and head out not too long after that. Asbeth would mess up the bed sudden just before heading out, just maybe a bit for show or the like. Leave it in not pristine condition, and the room otherwise lived in the time that they were there. And would, I think, leave a message with her also if she were willing to take one, of course. Possibly, hopefully setting a time to meet Hendred at the Tipsy Tengu for lunch, perhaps.
You smile, nod, agree. Very well. Hope to see you then. And she'll bow her head respectfully. And you guys can pop out of the hotel and regroup with the rest of the team, I assume for intel sharing purposes. I should have like a generic treats for you.
We skipped it over a little bit. Loma, would you have wanted to do anything over the night there? We mostly went to the night as none of us were doing a whole lot outside of just staying there, and you were off there.
I thought about maybe creeping around a little bit, but I'm not very stealthy, so I'm not sure how well that would have gone.
I probably would have done the same, but seeing as I was eating, it's fine if we just skip that. I don't really want to send us flying backwards in time.
So Zalix is waiting for you all, and she's like, so?
None of the names we were looking for. We have a few names, particularly the family of dwarves that's there, and there was a couple that I'd heard briefly. It seems there's a good few people staying there at the moment, but the most important, thankfully, or at least it seems, is that we did meet Hendred, who was there at dinner.
How did he get there?
I'm not quite sure.
I didn't see him come in the door.
I don't know.
He said that he
claimed to have-
teleported.
Yes.
But in order
Last
to do so,
afternoon.
he would have needed some form of structure to perform the magic.
Okay. And did you guys check out the rooms like I indicated you should?
I was unable to. I took most of my time speaking with Hendred and trying to get what information I could from him, and come nightfall, I'm not exactly quiet.
Did you get any information out of him about people who were staying there?
He was very evasive about things. We are meeting at the Tengu for lunch, and he'll be bringing the ledger there. So at the very least, we'll have that and should be able to see the names of who's been staying. It's possible, of course, that he may have a doctored ledger, at which point we'll have to consider what we wish to do from that point forth. But
You didn't check any of the rooms that are themed? Even though I told you that the windows are on freaking loop or something. Look at them. Like, the same exact
Yes.
thing is on every freaking, 50 seconds or so. Look at this.
none of the guests, as far as I could tell, are staying in any of the themed rooms. I did not have a way to enter them by a speech or anything of the sort, and trying to sneak my way in would not have worked.
I
Was there
believe you are
guard
the only one
guarding the wall?
here with proficiency with lockpicks.
Was there guards wandering the hall?
I would not put it past Ralso. I do. Would we have heard any footsteps outside the door at any point in the night?
No. Sorry, I was just checking where the bathrooms were.
Oh, okay.
None of them go past your room, so no.
There wasn't a single sound out there. A single footstep out would have been. And also, she is unfortunately diligent as far as all that we've been able to see here.
Did Salix and Rivalor notice anything in the upper floor at all? The windows up there?
Other than the never-changing, like, repeat loop vision, there's nothing that went on that we noticed.
From what I'm aware, Hendred did seem to make his way upstairs, suggesting that is where his office is.
Oh, yeah. I'm wondering that's where he teleported.
In the tower with Rasso?
Mm-hmm. Would be a suitable place to have a teleportation rune.
You'd have seen Rolso in the tower room. Henrid wouldn't have been.
Oh, okay. Well, we saw Ralso up there, but I didn't see Hendred up there. You said he went upstairs?
He did.
Or at least from what we can assume.
What other
said he
rooms
was
are
going
up there,
upstairs.
Rivalor? You were the one who stayed there. You went and looked around while we were downstairs. So what did you see while you were up there?
There's the Five Kings suite, I assume. Looks like a cavern. There's a Osirian room. And that was all I was legally able to check.
Okay, and we know that Ralso was staying in the tower, so she was up in the tower all night. You guys could have probably looked around a little bit, especially those rooms that we can't see into.
Unfortunately, we have no way of...
too.
Unfortunately, even if we did manage to make it to the door undetected, we have no way of opening it.
Alright, so we're gonna see this guy at the Tipsy Tango. But how are we gonna know if he's doctored the books at all?
We inspect them closely and carefully and look for any discrepancies. I think that should be right up Rivalor's avenue.
And did you get the names of the guests who were there? Maybe the lady that we spoke to the other day?
We did get her name. I did not write that down. What was the halfling's name again, Kiki?
Oh,
Mrs.
Mrs. Honeywell, yeah.
That was it. The dwarves were Seamus and Rella. Their kids were Beryl and Maliki, if I recall those correctly.
There were dwarves there?
Yes, a pair from the Five Kings Mountain, if I understand correctly, or at least they're in the Five Kings Mountain suite, if I understood that correctly.
I believe they're in the family room.
Two kids. Oh, in the family room, not the... Right, yeah.
Okay. And how did the dining hall look? Good?
Very.
It looked as it did through the window.
Did you guys enjoy dinner?
We did. It was excellent.
Did you have a good night's sleep?
Yeah, the bed was fantastic.
You just...
Tell us how you really feel.
I tell you how you really feel, you're going to be bleeding on the side of the road in about a minute.
Don't hold anything back.
I'm not.
We can tell.
Weapon surge, punch.
So what you're saying is we have nothing, again, as usual.
We know that Hendred is almost certainly lying and that we're meeting him in just a few hours.
And that probably it was a lie that Ralso told us the other day about him not being in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, almost certainly. And if that is that, and especially if we can determine that the books are doctored, then
that is
I
most
think we should
certainly
definitely
evidence for a
have
warrant.
reason to... Indeed.
If is good.
Well, even without
If
the
that, if-
doctored
if-
notes, that's still a lot of lying
A
to
lot
law enforcement and purposely hiding information.
A lot of absolutely nothing, still.
The city runs on corruption. We'll get a warrant through somehow.
If he hasn't fought off the Magister already.
I would argue leads
Then
are
we-
not nothing.
What do we have as a lead? Tell me.
We have the fact that he was absolutely lying to some extent, and now we get to check the logbooks.
We have the fact that this is a tabletop role-playing game session, and there is a detailed map of not only the first, but several other floors.
Whoa!
Oh,
You
so
guys
nothing.
mean-
We have nothing, right?
I'm sorry, I had to.
We absolutely have
zero.
stuff, though. Like, just to make that clear, we absolutely have stuff.
We have fucking
They're
nothing.
trying to inhibit our investigation, and if the books are doctored, we have something there. If the books are not doctored, they should give us all the information we need.
Fine. Rivalor and I are gonna go take a nap until lunchtime. You guys figure out what the fuck is going on. We'll meet you at the Tengu.
So I assume you're heading to the Tengu around lunchtime.
Yes.
All right.
I would like. Would Zelix have mentioned the guy who brought the mysterious nameless box?
And if this at the Tengu doesn't work, we can go there again tonight and climb the building and break in the upper stories or something.
Oh, it's Remy.
Oh, Remy's hanging out
Oh,
here.
hey,
Cool.
it's the drunks.
It's Eunice as well.
Wow, Eunice is here? Man, is this where everybody goes?
Apparently.
This is like where all the party followers you're not currently using just go to wait for you and say, "Come with me."
Alex would go
I'm
say
getting
hi to
Dragon
Remy.
Age flashbacks.
Remy smiles and says, "Hello, any luck finding Mr. Knight?"
No, we're still looking. How are the animals doing?
Better. Now that we've got some money coming in from the festival, we're able to make sure they're well fed, hired a few more hands to help out. It's getting a lot better at the zoo.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Excuse me, I have to go meet with
I think
someone.
my audio died again. Christ.
Uh-oh, can you hear us?
That can't arise soon
Can
enough.
you hear us? Can you hear us? I'm sorry. If you
I can
can't hear
things
this,
again.
say no. Oh, good.
I hear you all again. Sorry, what was it you said, Shadow?
She said that she was glad to hear it and that she had a meeting to attend and that she'll talk to him later.
Yeah. You see Mr. Pratchett, he's nursing a beer, he's got a large book in front of him. He seems reasonably happy. He gives you a wave and a smile as you enter.
Mr. Pratchett?
Ah, good to see you again, my friend. Good to see you. Those lot over there are not back out of the cells, I see, but less rowdy this time. And he shoves a hand out to shake Zalex's. Also, you know how you guys can tell Pratchett's a good man? Is because he's got the pretty green border, whilst people who have been bad have the red border.
You mean like his associate?
Which associate?
Arouso?
Also has a green border.
I thought it was red. Weren't we just talking about it being red the other
it's
day?
like her
token border,
token
not
has a
the-
green border.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh, okay.
like when you hover, not when you hover it over.
So she reaches out
yeah,
and
but
shakes his
also...
hand,
Yeah.
and she says, I hear that you have your logbooks for us to just take a look at. We're looking for some people. We
Oh.
wondered if they maybe had stayed at your hotel.
Yes. Who are you looking for?
We're looking for the zookeeper, and his mistress, and we're looking for, there's a family that we're looking for called the Vindies, and
Yes. And he pulls out a notepad and he starts taking notes of names.
And then four people that are involved in something else that we think may have all been conspiring together at your hotel. Anastasia Corvus, who's using the front of a merchant selling wine from Irison. a dwarven scholar from Rahadum, a wizard, and I lower my voice a little bit so that this guy here can't hear me, Kemenellis, and then finally a ranger, a gnome by the name of Lyrma Swampwalker.
There's also a young gentleman who maybe bought a room for a night, and his name was Andrew. Can I take a look at your books and just have a...
Yes, feel free to have a look through.
peek?
Some of those names do ring a bell. Lyra, I think I recognise that name. I can't say for sure, though. I'll have to ask Mrs. Honeywell next time I see her. She never forgets her face, you know, the dear old lady. She's a lovely egg, but, yes.
So she looks through the book and just takes a look at the names on the list to see if any of them match.
Yeah, so you can have a look through. There's dozens and dozens of names. It lists none of them missing person. Although, if is Rivalor taking a look, or is he? Where is?
Rivalor's taking a look.
Yeah, he would notice that there's possibly some erasures here or there, and where it's been written over what had originally been there.
So I would show Rivalor. What do you think, Rivalor? Or do any of these look familiar to you? You okay, Rolly?
Need a moment?
Yeah, I think I need to sit the rest of this session out.
That's okay.
Okay.
Get yourself a glass of water, soup, whatever you need, and take the evening and relax. Hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, I feel better.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Mhm.
Right, so he would... None of the names are familiar, but it does look like something has been edited or adjusted or similar, and...
So would I see that when I'm looking at it?
yeah, you would notice that.
So I hand it over to Asbit, and I point out where I think there's been erasures or edits. And I would look to Mr. Pratchett, and I'd be like, there looks like there's a couple of corrections to the book.
It's likely, Ralph, so she's a bit clumsy on the bookkeeping sometimes. Yeah, she's... I don't know if you've looked too much into her background, but she's had a bit of a rough past with a few bits and pieces here and there with law enforcement, and don't tend to advertise it, but she's not the best at these kinds. So, yes, her bookwork can be a bit clumsy and sloppy, but she's got the right kind of strength to deal with riffraff if they come in and keep the place safe. So I like her though. She does an excellent job. She's more of a bodyguard to me than an actual bookkeeper, but she's a good one.
She seems fairly pleasant. You said she's had some issues with the law. Any idea what that might have been?
Oh yes, she did her time, might I add. She's locked away, did her time. It was some issues with and he looks around, he lowers his voice for the purpose of compassion. She left her sister with the family while she was out trying to earn money for them, and the family were very neglectful, and also found that her sister was beaten and dead, and as a result she Well, she did something that got her locked away, and she's served her time, and now she's under my employ.
And Zalex would lean in to listen to keep it lower, and she would also say, I heard too that you might have an ochre jelly that you procured to use as a garbage disposal system.
Oh, yes.
I just was wondering.
Yes. I encountered one of those whilst I was adventuring, actually, up by the World Wound some years ago, and I tried to kill it, and it straight up just ate my sword. And when I was setting my tavern up one night, my hotel up, one night I fell asleep, and after a nightmare where I was practically back there, I lurched awake, and I thought, this could solve my issues with that damnable problem of having to lug out resources and take them out, and you just throw it all down into a pit, and the ochre jelly will eat it, and obviously it can't get out. It's a sheer wall, and it's working well so far, and it's reduced our logistics costs quite a bit. Not having to have people come and pick up trash and the like. It's very good, actually. I've considered advising a few other people to do it, but I wasn't keen on law enforcement finding out, just because, well, it is a living creature, and if it's against any laws, I guess I would have to give it up.
No, I don't recall if it's against any laws to keep an ochre jelly as a means of keeping things clean. I heard that you just recently had the hotel built, like within the past couple of months. Do you remember who came and worked on it by any chance?
Oh, it was a nightmare getting the place built. Yes, I had a vision for how it would be, with lots of themed rooms, and especially being fancy, well-to-do, but hard finding people to get the right work done, so I'd always have to see if I could get someone in to do a certain room in the style of how it was and how I had in my mind. Absolute disaster, but fortunately, at the festivals happening, there are plenty of people looking for work. So it wasn't that bad to do. It's not what I'd ideally wanted. I'd love to have been a bit more efficient, but, you know, we're building around an old building, and hard to get the right work in. You know how it is.
Do you know who worked on it, or maybe who hired them?
Yes, I mostly went through a contractor. Well, a fair few different contractors. I could find their names, but work finished on the hotel a month ago, and it's been such a nightmare just running the place. I have a few names I could possibly do. If I went through some of my old paperwork, there was a Reginald, I believe. He had information. He was a reporter, actually. He dropped by and loved to talk about the place. He was very keen on getting to know some more about things.
You said he's a reporter. Do you know what paper for, or?
I think the tabloid. Don't think I do. Eyes on Absalom, maybe? I think it was that one. Which, you guys would be aware it's, mostly a gossip tabloid. It's for rumours and things like that. It's not high journalism. Most of the citizenship tend to enjoy it. Critics tend to think it's a bit of a joke.
Okay. And you said that he hired on some of these people for you?
He had a few names for me when I spoke to him,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
But, he mostly was a middleman helping me get it together. There's a lot of moving parts, especially with the fact the entire precinct was being built.
Yes, I can imagine. This whole area was redone. We're just wondering. You said you wanted to do more, but it looked pretty nice the other day. We wandered through. Ralso gave us mostly a whole tour.
I can give you a full tour if you like.
Oh, that would be great.
Absolutely, I'm more than happy to show it off. Sorry if Ralso's a bit, I hazard to say, harsh, but she does like to make sure all the customers are having the best of times, and he's more of a blunt instrument in that regard, I think. Don't worry, don't take any of it personally. I'm happy to show you anywhere in the place.
That would be wonderful. Can you maybe show us later tonight or tomorrow if you're free?
Whenever is good for you. Obviously, law enforcement comes first, and I've very concerned that so many names seem to be cropping up that guide you to my establishment. Especially that, what was it, Lyra? It does ring a bell. I'd have to look into it.
Lyra.
Lirma.
Lirma,
I think it was.
that's it. That's the one.
Lirma.
Sorry.
That's the wine merchant, right?
That's the gnome ranger from Vision,
Oh.
if I recall
The swamp
documents
walker
correctly.
lady. Gotcha.
Yes.
Yes.
While this whole conversation has been going on, I would be inspecting the books and seeing if I can't find any patterns, like to the erasers, how when the last one is in here, how often they occur, how many there are in total, those sorts of things. If it's usually one single line, or if there's occasionally several in a row, anything of that
They're
sort.
smattered about. There's probably 20, maybe 30 in there. None of them seem consistent in style or area. Yeah, it more or less does seem, as he says, like haphazardly done by someone who's not very proficient at bookkeeping.
I would have been looking too at the dates and see if the dates around them were similar, or if they were completely like off the wall.
They're spread over the past month or so. It has a
And
list
I
of
would've-
every
Those are-
guest that's been there since it opened, which totals probably about 300 people.
And I would have probably
What
been
are the
looking
most
for
erasers
dates.
in one day?
Most erasures in one day? I don't know that answer. Probably about a week.
Which is when a majority of people went missing. All right. How about we meet you up at the hotel later on? I didn't take any offense by Ralso's rough nature. I understand if she's had misdealings before with our kind, and I'm most heartily sorry about what happened to her.
Yes, it's a tragic thing, but she's altogether a good person, reformed and back in society, and I'm glad to be working with her. Hopefully, she can find some peace in life now that her misgivings are behind her.
I hope so too. And we'll be by later. Thank you for letting us take a look at your book. Do you mind if we keep it for a little bit? We'll return it later.
I would prefer not, but in the manner of helping law enforcement find these missing people, I'm more than happy to let you. But do
Thank you, sir.
please ensure you have it back to me by this afternoon when we do the tour.
Absolutely. Do any of you have any more questions for Mr. Pratchett?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think anything else would have probably come up in the conversation the night before.
He'll stand up, place some coins on the table, say, get yourself a round of drinks on me, guardsman. I appreciate you taking the time out of your obviously very busy schedules to meet with me. Sorry I can't be too much more help. I have a few meetings to attend to, but I will hopefully see you this evening. I look forward to seeing my fine establishment, the work that's gone into ensuring my guests have the best.
Thank you again for your time, sir. And I do appreciate you meeting with us and letting us have a look about. Thanks for all your help in this case.
He gives a low,
Likewise.
swooping bow before starting to head toward.
And when he's far enough away, I would lean in to Asbet and be like, there was a lot of erasures. And that gentleman that he was talking about, Reginald, isn't that who we were supposed to speak to at the club?
It's entirely possible, but
We can go visit
I
them
think that's something
at
to
the...
yes, if we survive this afternoon. I have the sinking suspicion that this man's tour may be less survivable than Ralzo's.
I say we go before the tour and just stop over to the paper and have a little chat with this person. It's only lunchtime. We're going to meet him later on.
A fair point.
I would
Yes.
suggest that one of us take the book back to maybe Revelor can take the book back to headquarters and have it copied over, and then bring it back for the meeting later. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
All right. What about you, Lyra and
Arena?
Arena?
Emma?
I'm here. Sorry, I'm thinking.
Arpaku?
Also thinking.
Okay.
So are we giving the journal to Rivelar to take back? Is that what we're doing?
I just figured that'd be a way for him to
Not be at the meeting with the journalist.
right.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
All right. So let's go see this journalist, because I think he's the same guy who we're supposed to be talking to at the club.
Okay. Sounds good. So, it
Do we have his location?
to
It's,
find his location, the Eyes of Absalom in the tabloid. There's a front house, I guess, is the term I would, for where
Right.
reporters come and go to hand in their information, where it's then printed and taken out elsewhere. So you can head by there to check in.
Okay. So we would go there.
The front desk is. Are you going dressed as law enforcement or as
No, I'm still in my dressed down, just normal.
Yeah, so heading into the front desk, there's a young halfling woman who gives you a big bright smile and oh, hello, how can I be of assistance?
Hi, I'm looking for Reginald.
Oh,
I wanted to
yes.
talk to him about
He's one of our
Some-
reporters. Lovely fellow, actually. Very, very good, very kind. Well, he owns the place, to be honest, but he is one of the reporters. You would like to meet with him?
Yes, please.
If possible.
Of course. And she looks down into her book and starts flicking through. Sorry, what is it regarding?
We might have some information for him, and maybe he could give us some in turn.
Oh, I see. The earliest we have a meeting slot free for him is in 5 weeks.
5 weeks. Okay. Is there any way we could make it a little sooner?
He is quite busy. I don't think there would be any options available sooner. And she's looking through her book, and you can tell she's obviously trying to help you by looking for the earliest meeting slot available.
Right.
No, I don't. He doesn't. He's fairly booked solid given the festivities, and he meets a lot of different tabloid owners and the like, and he's usually out most evening. Unfortunately, no. There's not much flexibility to meet.
All right. Thanks.
That's okay. So, what is the name I'll put down for meeting him?
Who should we put down? And I look over to Asbet.
Mine, I suppose. Asbet Lindelin.
Asbet Lin. You write that down. Excellent. So that will be in 4 weeks on the 3rd day of the week at roughly midday, if that's good for you.
Certainly.
Fantastic.
I see no
I'm
reason
sure
why
he'll
I
look
shouldn't.
forward to
I'll make
meeting
sure to
you,
keep it open.
Asbet. Are you a reporter from another agency, or just looking for a job?
My fellows here and I do a bit of adventuring from time to time, and we come upon some piece of information that we think may greatly interest Reginald, considering some of his past topics that he's done. And in turn, we've been hoping to just exchange a bit and open a channel, if you will.
Oh, well, if it's easier, I could always book you in with one of our reporters who can take everything down and start a reporting case.
We'd been hoping for Reginald in particular. We have some reason to believe that he specifically would have some of the information that we'd like, and also in turn would be most interested in directly in some of what we may have for him.
We just missed him the other night. We were at a gathering where he was.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He's usually about the place quite a bit. Hopefully you'll get to meet him soon, though. And she taps her pen against the book and closes the book with a big bright smile at you, seeming all the happy to have helped you out.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so
What
much.
was the date? One more, just to be certain.
Oh, yes, 5 weeks from now, 2nd day of the week at around midday.
I thought it was 4 weeks.
4 weeks! Ah, that's what she said. Sorry.
All right, it's currently the 26th. I'm noting this down. We may as well have this. It might help us in a later investigation.
Yeah, you never know.
Saranith, what is that one again? No, I don't know the names of the months in the thing by heart either.
And what's your name, Miss?
Oh, Alestria.
Alestria. Thank you so much.
The next month is Ariston.
Yeah, it's that's effectively June. So if I go here and take a look at June, it's the 26th. So 1, 2, and it's Oath Day, which is when Thursday. So on the toil day in 4 weeks, is there some way to open this up? I'll work it out.
Excellent. So, what is the group's plan now?
So I would probably go back to the station and get the book. Make sure that all the names on the book were copied down and like all the dates. And then bring it with me so that we could go have the meeting with Pratchett to have a look through the hotel.
Yeah, I think Riverlaw was handling that whilst you guys were off talking. Fine lady setting up a meeting.
Right, and I just wanted to make sure to bring the book because Mr. Pratchett did want it back by our meeting.
So you could get Riverlaw, head back for the meeting. Oh, let me pull up the correct map. Bam, bam. So, I would say... given we have 6 minutes left on the session, we can do the tour then, if you would like. And that would mean Riverlaw would be there with the gang for the wandering around and finding.
Yeah, that would be good.
Cool. So is there any shopping or things like that you guys want to do to prep for your tour, for your investigation?
I would just want to be back in my gear.
Yeah, so fully gearing up again.
Yep. I don't think we have the funds to do any large shopping since there are no staves of fire or things to be added.
As much as I would love a striking rune, I think that's way off still.
Yes, they cost some gold.
Yikes.
I think it's only 65 gold for a striking rune,
Yeah,
isn't
sorry,
it?
I was thinking the other one that does big damage.
Yeah, no, that is striking. The one that adds a second damage die is 65 gold pieces. It's
Is
a
it?
+1 and a striking combined are 100 gold.
Ah.
Yeah, it's... The +1 is 35 gold, the striking is 65 to add together to be 100.
I guess that's what I was thinking then, my bad.
Ooh.
Right, I am shocked at the amount you guys are doing to investigate this. This is great. I'm legitimately here like, oh my god. I've got 2 versions of the book open as I'm like scanning through pages like, oh my god, they're asking so many questions. It's good.
Well, last time we asked you a few questions, so...
Yeah, we were not thorough enough last time, so...
You guys have been exceptionally thorough, which is good. I appreciate it. So, are we going to reconvene again in a week?
Yeah.
I believe so.
I am probably going to check in with Rolly and make sure he's okay. He's
Yeah.
Yeah.
a good boy. Otherwise, thank you all for showing up. It's been fun as always. I can't wait for you guys to go and investigate this lovely, wholesome room here. That has
Oh,
nothing
yeah,
bad
so
in it.
wholesome.
Honestly, you guys stepped around the corner and you all went, oh my god, and I was like, wait a minute.
It'll turn out that's the least dangerous of all of them.
Yeah,
Also, Lomo, you were fairly quiet. You most certainly can speak up if you just start. If I'm talking and talking too much, probably. If you just say something, I'll do my best to be quiet for a moment and leave the floor open for you, son.
All right, thank you. I went push to talk because I was eating some of it, but I was still a little lost because I had to miss last session, so I was just kind of catching up a little bit as well.
Yeah, I know how it is, but still, I just wanted to make sure that you weren't ending up talking over you or something, which is
It's okay.
unpleasant and
I
awkward.
didn't feel that way.
Good. Well, I
Alright,
look
good.
forward to you guys receiving the tour.
The tour.
Also,
Okay, it's definitely a death tour.
We're gonna die.
I was suspicious before, but now I know.
Yeah, the tour.
me. If it
He's
helps,
gonna push us down a flight of stairs. We're gonna get eaten by the ochre jelly. It's on.
Pushing down the stairs, that's child's play. No, it's going to turn into a ramp. The floor is going to shove aside, and it'll just be a lava pit with the ochre jelly suspended above it. So either
Great.
you get stuck in the jelly or fall down below into the lava.
Not to mention the fact that we all run for a few seconds in midair before finally falling.
Like
With a cloud of
Scooby-Doo.
smoke
that's
behind
just
Yep, that's what I'm
that just
envisioning.
goes
as well.
without saying.
Yeah, and then just in case, the lava doesn't get us for whatever reason, there's like a giant monster waiting on the edge of the lava. Just
you guys have very overactive
Yeah.
imaginations.
Well, we kind of have to. I so much wanted to go and take a look at those rooms, but it's like, I am so loud.
I mean, even if you weren't loud, like, how are you going to open a door?
and just bust it open. You guys are killing me.
We're gods!
You guys are killing me.
Can't breach and clear publicly owned business.
Yes, you can.
Sorry, privately owned
We're
business.
we're the police department, not SWAT. Yet.
Yet.
We're
I
gonna
mean,
get to the end of this,
we
We
I
did
guess,
get a
eventually.
riot shield, so
And we still need more information. I mean, if we go busting in doors, they're definitely not going to give anything yet.
that's very true.
And of course, if I went alone and one of these places was a death trap that was supposed to be a medium encounter for 4 people, then, well, okay, you'd have me missing in the morning, and that would be definitely a cause for come investigate. But I would
You
not
get your
appreciate
warrant
it.
then.
Or worst case scenario, you accidentally step into the garbage chute and end up in a lethal encounter with the ochre jelly.
I mean, if Asbit didn't come out the next morning, Zalix was totally gonna go in a guns a-blazing.
I do have a character set up. The only thing I'm missing for a backup character is an image.
Oh my
but
god.
Otherwise, I
Backup-
have
oh
a
God,
backup
now I'm
character
freaking
fully
out.
set.
Now I'm thinking I need a backup character.
I just felt like making a lizardman toxicologist alchemist. It just felt like a thing to do because
Sounded fun.
you
Making
like
characters is
poison.
just fun.
It
I
is.
have
I've made way too many that I'll never use.
Yes.
I have a folder full of them as backups.
I guess I'm going to have to step up my game.
Yeah, I think I have a suitable collection of 3 to 400 characters just tucked away in backup.
Yeah, just in
This
case.
is not
yeah.
only a backup character, but one specifically for this adventure.
Oh wow, you're going all out.
We all need to take our cues from somewhere. Also, after this, sometime this evening or tomorrow, you might want to go back to the thing and update the Pathfinder system. That had a reasonable update that added a couple of neat things. I'm not sure how much it's going to show up here, as they added some things like being able to drag and drop ancestry and backgrounds onto your sheet, but also a number of fixes and things. So that's a thing that exists.
Nice. I will make sure to do that.